And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in business. Eternal Challenger League Season 5, Qualifier number 1. Hope you guys got your Grom snacks. Maybe the Goblin King has made you his favorite treats. It is time for a couple hours of sweet, sweet entertainment. So again, welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. So for those of you guys who haven't seen the Eternal Challenger League before, it's essentially 8 weeks of competition. Every single week we do have a qualifier, and the qualifiers are open for anyone to play. So in today's qualifier, for example, we actually had 77 people sign up. It was pretty balls deep for sure. So let's go ahead and head on over to the challenge screen and show you guys the tail of the tape. So we're going to go ahead and fire this up. That is my stream right there. And where is it? Over here? Yes, perfect. You can see I was testing my internet speed beforehand, which is always a good time. So nonetheless, guys, this is the challenge screen here. You can see we had a lot of players, a massive competition today. In total for signups, I think we had 72 players. Okay, it was 72. And you can see, yeah, just so many serious players. I mean, top level players across the board. Over here on the top side of the bracket, we do have Talaxlan Soothsayer and Debiggin, who's actually chief of Clan BBB, who are going to be facing off in our first best of 3 today. We made it to the finals. And on the bottom side of the bracket, Vicious Satsuma just defeated HDS 2-0 in a very, very tight series, actually, even though it was 2-0. And he's going to be facing off against the winner of Enticity and V-Claws. Certainly should be quite a bit of fun. You can see here, we do, of course, have our bracket. Chief against Soothsayer, Vicious Satsuma, going to be facing off against the winner of Enticity and Viking Claw. And now, my friends, it is time. We're back in business. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of a tidbit of what's to come. So it's 8 weeks of competition. And essentially, you were muted, yeah. No, there is sound this time. I did not screw that up this early in the stream. But 8 weeks of competition. Each week, there's going to be between probably 50 to 70 players playing. And one person, the winner of those tournaments, will qualify for the grand finals, which is going to be kind of the Super Bowl at the end of the season. So yeah, I'm very excited. That's our bracket for the day. So far, oh my God, is this happening? So let's jump into our first game. I think it's about time. Players look ready to me. We're going to head on over to the Flash Tournament scorecards. Perfect. So yeah, we have Soothsayer against Debiggin. Debiggin is chief. No surprise seeing Talaxlan Soothsayer, one of the greatest Total War players of all time here in the Grand Finals in the first tournament. And he's going to be playing as Orcs and Goblins and banning Vampire Coast and Lizardmen. Very good bans for sure. Although I honestly feel like Greenskins have a decent matchup against Vampire Coast these days. But and then from there, Debiggin is thinking, oh no, and we have a mirror match. We have a good old Greenskin scrap here in the first battle. Oh, that is so trolly. But it looks like that's what's happening. Greenskin mirror match, guys. So get your Waz on. It's time. Lich. Lou Twitch says, hey, Turin, huge fan. Will you be in Poland, Europe in the near future? We will travel to see Anna's family when all this calms down, but that's going to be a ways off. Yeah. So it's going to be good. Soothsayer is here. What's going on? HGM, the Eternal Paunch League. That's what it should be called. I'm the one growing an Eternal Paunch right now. It's getting pretty thick for sure. My quarantine paunch, as people call it. So ready when you are. I can't believe we're getting a mirror match in our first freaking game here. It's just pure absurdity. Pure absurdity. Absurdity has always been one of those words that's really hard for me to say fast. Absurdity. Absurdity. Yeah, strange stuff. Yeah, Soothsayer against Debiggin. But, you know, Chief is certainly in the spirit. I mean, his avatar picture is, you know, like kind of a greenskin or war boss or an orc or something. And he's got Debiggin in his name today. So certainly has been preparing for this. But Soothsayer, of course, ever the terror in the night. And it's going to be Greenskins on Greenskins here in our first match. Debiggin, a.k.a. Chief, is ready. Get your Crumpin' boots on. I know, can't one of them take a sub-faction? I know. Grimgore versus Grimgore? Oh my God, that would just be some next level stuff. But both of these guys are very competitive players. I don't think we're going to see memes out of them. Neither of these guys really have like a long history of doing memes in their games, at least in my experience. Unless it's like a tournament that is focused around memes. Eternal Challenger League is a little bit more of a competitive kind of situation. So basically the winner of this 4-man kind of final here is going to be going on to the grand finals, which will be an 8-man tournament, pretty much the same as ever chosen in terms of structure, which usually has a prize pool ranging from like $200 to $500. So this tournament, usually the qualifiers don't have a prize, but this season they do. So I'm adding a prize pool to today's event as well. So it's not going to be huge, but certainly sweetens the pot a little bit. So Debiggin is ready. Soothsayer making his final tweaks to his army. Ever the meticulous Slan. I could see a Slan leading Greenskins. Actually, I don't know if they would respect a Slan. Yeah, no, that's totally wrong. Like, Slans are, like, weak and feeble physically, and Greenskins are, right, you know, they kind of flock to the biggest war boss, right? Yeah. I guess the Slan, maybe they might be impressed by its magic or something. Yeah, who knows? I mean, they follow Wurzog, right? Still something to consider. All right. Looks perfect. The Biggin is ready. Soothsayer still coming up with some goodies, I would imagine. Hey, Samuel Christensen, thank you for the fiber, man. A little bird told me it's someone's special day today. It's not my birthday. No, God, it's such a meme. You guys, it's not my birthday. It's not. So on yesterday's King of the Hill stream, like the entire stream, people were saying it was my birthday, like the whole time. Oh my God. Oh, hey, Liam, thank you so much. Hoy to you too. Thank you for the 2 or 3 Canadian dollars. You guys are such trolls. It's not my birthday. It's not. All right, looks like they're ready. I have no idea what to expect. I mean, are we going to see a wild rogue idol here from one of these players? I suppose it wouldn't be bad. Honestly, I think we're just going to see, like, the Greenskin Daka line is so good nowadays. But I guess if one army just goes, like, super wide with, like, Orc Boys. But, yeah, you need to bring, like, Daka or at least a Spider to kill the monsters. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to expect, honestly. You don't see mirror matches terribly often. But we're getting one right now, and I'm certainly excited. It's my birthday, huh? That's what you guys think? Think it's funny? Well, it is kind of funny, I must admit. So players are loading in right now. To answer your question about how old I actually am, I'm 31 years old, I think. Hang on, let me think about it for a moment. When you get to this age, it kind of just all blends, you know? Like your early 30s, it's like, whatever, 30, 31, it's all the same. I think I'm 31 years old, and my birthday is on July 12th. So, July 12th is my birthday. All right, so here we are in the battle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the difference of these armies. So here for the forces of De Biggin, a.k.a. Chief of Clan BBB, which I believe is a clan from Spain. He has Azag up in the sky. Azag, of course, is a really powerhouse Greenskin Lord now, and hasn't gotten too much attention, honestly, in a lot of these early competitions, but he gives plus 12 leadership to nearby Greenskins, which is insanely good. You can see here he has the Azag's Ard armor. He's got Slagus Slashes, which gives leadership plus get on with it, but he didn't bring that, so it's just going to be plus 4, actually. Yeah. Azag's Ard armor, really good for Greenskin Cav play. For example, you have some Boar Biggins, you run in, you give him freaking 100 plus armor and melee defense. It's very much similar to the Reichland Runefang. And Slagus Slashes is a constant effect. It gives attack and leadership. Very, very powerful indeed. We got 3 Stone Trolls, a bunch of Skirmish Cav here, which are going to be Goblin Wolf Riders, a couple Savage Orc Airboys, and very much a defensive formation from Chief. Now, what I've seen from Chief in the past, he usually plays a pretty defensive style of play, or at least has kind of a defensive formation, forcing the opponent in, and then it seems like Chief's playstyle is very much like a counterpuncher, you know? Kind of like the, I'm trying to think of a very classic counterpuncher from contemporary times. Well, certainly wouldn't be Mike Tyson, but, and speaking of, Mike Tyson apparently is going to be making a comeback, which is crazy. I used to love watching his fights as a wee lad. Anyways, yeah, so Stone Trolls, Goblins, a couple Orc Boys in the front, but very much dependent on the Stone Trolls getting buffed up by Azag. Very cool indeed. So now for Soothsayer. This is the more kind of common thing you're seeing a lot with the new Greenskins. You basically use the Hag, who has Mither, to slow down targets, then you use Skarsnik to Rampage. It gives you some really good snaring potential and gooning potential. So for example, if Azag like screws up, takes a little bit too damage, gets caught in a bad position, he gets rampaged, he gets slowed, it can be really bad for sure. But aside from that, I mean, Azag is going to be exponentially better in combat, especially for buffing up other troops. So there's some give and take to both sides. So Orc Airboys, Savage Orcs, Goblins, very much a mix and match front line. 2 Stone Trolls here, a flank of Orc Boys and Goblins, a couple Goblin Wolf Chariots, so actually not bringing Pump Wagons, and going for a huge flank here of Orc Boar Boys. Yeah, in total it looks like he has 3 of them, and they are the generalist cav unit. Not anti-large, more well-rounded against infantry, and of course pretty good AP values. So yeah, Boar Boy flanks on Stone Trolls is pretty good actually, if he's able to pull that off. So we'll see. We will see indeed, my friends. So the scrap is underway. Azag the Slaughterer, perusing the skies, looking for his upcoming prey here, I'm sure. We'll see what he can find. Maybe some goodies. Brandon Dudley, happy birthday. JK, it's mine, and you rock, man. Happy birthday to you, man. See, it's actually his birthday. We can wish him happy birthday. Thank you so much for the donation. Little Raven, thanks for all you do for the Total War community. I always love it when I catch a stream. I'm here to put on a good show for you guys. It's going to be fun. Although I'm really itching to play. This is certainly, it's hard to watch because I want to play. So here, guys. The Greenskins are flanking over. It looks like the Hammer of Gork shooting into the Savage Orc Biggins here, which are certainly one of the more choice targets here in this engagement. Players saying good luck and have fun to one another, and it looks like the Stone Troll Legion of De Biggin, aka Chief, is going to be switching about face here and getting ready to party. So somebody in chat did ask, while we have a little bit of downtime, about signing up for these tournaments. You just have to join my Discord. I put out notifications usually midweek, and anyone can join. We had a lot of new players today who were playing for the first time, and I saw some really good performances and replays. So yeah, really cool to see people getting involved for the first time and getting some new faces in there. Nonetheless, though, Soothsayer, just encroaching here with his Goblin Wolf Chariots, which also give him some decent skirmishing. Stone Trolls are being sent forward. Stone Trolls pretty good against skirmishing, especially Greenskin skirmishing, because they have 70 armor. plus also magic resist against spirit leeches, and yeah, just missile resist on top of that. So Stone Troll's really tough to bring down with Daka play, which I think is why both players brought Stone Trolls, right? Knowing that they'll be pretty good in this this Crumpin' old battle. Yeah, you know, the Goblin Wolf Chariots is an interesting choice here from Sooth. It looks like a Spirit Leech was actually used from Azag, and a Spirit Leech is going down on Azag as well. So the reason why Sooth is using Spirit Leech and overcasting it at the cost of some HP on his Giant River Troll Hag is because he figures if he can get Azag down low enough, he can then rampage him with Skarsnik and really butter his bread with his Daka line, and also with Skarsnik, who's anti-large, and the Hag's big old meat sack that she carries. Now, the frontline fighting should be underway here in a moment. Looks like Soothsayer is blobbing up over here very aggressively. Like, he's pulled back, like, completely. He's not even going to be engaging this whole flank here. He's pulling back his Orc Boys plus his Goblins, and he's going to be doing a flank overload, which is kind of cool. Especially considering that Debiggen here has a really powerful core of Stone Trolls. Going to be trying to overload, and what he's going to probably do is get them all stacked on top of each other, considering there's not really too much blob punishment from Chief's build, and he's going to use the Spider to Bad Moon to give the bonus for large and combat stats to all of his characters. Granted, it's going to be really trying for sure, because Azag has some insane buffs too. So look at the Fanatics coming in from Soothsayer. Brutal stuff. The Fanatics tearing through the Greenskin line, going through the Savage Orc Airboys, breaking those Goblin Wolf Riders, and also doing really good damage against the chaff in the front. Those Fanatics already up to 42 kills. Oh, look at this from Chief. Oh, is that not? Oh, that's from Sooth. Okay, I thought that was the Doom and Darkness, but no, it looks like the Hag actually casted Aspect of the Dread Knight. Really cool stuff, giving immune to Psych to all these units because it gives them Terror, which makes them basically immune to being Terror-routed. And Soothsayer does use the Fermented Fungi up on Azag, but a little bit too early. Azag was not below 80%, so he doesn't actually get rampaged. So a little bit of a misplay there from Sooth, but that Mass Terror-rout effect coming in was really, really nice for sure. Now, Azag is down to the ground for Debiggen, but he finally gets rampaged because he does drop below 80%. Fermented Fungi, they need Stabbin' is active, but Azag's Ard Armor is also active, so his combat stats aren't going to be terrible, despite some of the nerfs to his goodness there. And it looks like the Goblin Big Boss and the River Troll Hag are beating him down pretty bad. The Rampage should wear off here in a couple of seconds, about 2 or 3 seconds. And Azag certainly got caught in a bit of a bad situation. It looks like he is going to get broken down here and should be able to maybe get away. No, he's actually blocked up because Soothsayer came in with the Orc Boys. So yeah, big misplay letting Azag get caught there. A little bit close to the sun there for sure, but I mean, it's certainly very hard to avoid. So Orc Warboy Biggins collapsing in the back, and honestly just looks like Sooth's game in pretty much every respect. The Orc Boys have collapsed the back. Sooth also had the mass aspect of the Dread Knight, which pretty much buckled off Chief's lines. Like, just everything about that game was like flawless execution. Now Chief has some skirmishers in the back doing his thing, a couple Orc Boys like loosely fighting, but basically what Sooth did, he was able to isolate Azag because, now normally had Azag landed, had Chief had some like supporting elements fighting, like some trolls or other tools like that, it wouldn't have been as bad. But all of his guys kind of just got like mass terror-routed, which was a really, really impressive showcase there. And then from there, the snare plus the punishment for the big boss was too much to handle. Yep, and that is that. So yeah, really, the snaring on Azag was very potent, but I think the biggest play was using Aspect of the Dread Knight plus getting the Orc Warboys to rear charge and break the trolls. It was just a really, really good leadership bomb, and that can really decide the game very quickly in the Greenskin matchup. So here comes the Stone Trolls from Flax on Soothsayer. It was honestly just, just a solid performance across the board. Like, it was the execution. I know, like, a lot of people watching are just going to attribute it only to the snare, to the, not the Vindictive Glare, but to the fungi. But the fungi didn't even get its full duration, firstly. And secondly, Azag landed and had 0 support on the ground. There was, like, no Stone Trolls, there was no Goblins. Like, Chief's lines just got routed, like, instantly by the Mass Terror Rout effect, which was really, really strong. And I wouldn't have even thought to do that. But against Greenskins, Soothsayer really just showing why he's truly a mad scientist. Because that was what won him the game. Yeah, really, really impressed. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. Soothsayer is going to go up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. And now we'll go on to game 2. So I've got to switch the map for these two fine gentlemen. And for the map, we'll do, what do we want to do? Something a little bit different. We can do, not the Chaos Wastes. Lane of Spiders is a bit of a strange map if I remember. We'll do Amazon. Chief just says ... Yeah, the Mass Terror Route was brutal. The ECL's back in business. Yeah. We are back in business. Yeah, and what won that game for sure was the Mass Terror Route. Like, the Rampage was really good, but like I said, had Azag had some troops on the ground, he wouldn't have been surrounded and beaten that easily. Like, all the Stone Trolls for Chief just ran away, like, instantly. Like, the Biggins flanking, like, overwhelmed the flank, crashed into the back in conjunction with a Mass Terror Route effect, like, GG. No, Captain Teamwork. I do think that, to address my opinions on the fungi, I think that it needs to be slightly tuned down. I think the duration of the fungi ability should be lowered from 36 seconds to 18 seconds. And I also think that the Mither from the River Troll Hag should be lowered down from probably 70% to like 50%. That would be my opinions on things. I do think that it's a little bit overtuned right now. Granted, Greenskins kind of needed something like that because as someone who played a lot of Greenskins, let me make sure they're all set. Map is set. So I consider myself a bit of a Greenskin main. It's been a faction I've been playing for a long time. And before, like when you play Greenskins against factions with gooning potential, like let's say someone summons like a Feral Manticore. The Feral Manticore chases down your Wurzug. You have two options. You have Spider Riders, which just get Terror Routed. You have Nasty Skulkers, which are super micro-intensive and position-intensive. Or you have to Effigy. Otherwise, like these flying gooning characters can just annihilate your Greenskin Lords, which was probably, honestly, one of the most frustrating things in the game, playing Greenskins, because your Lords just got shit on. And that, from there, I mean, the old meta, pretty much all you could do is bring Azag and just use your speed and run away and really just be super cautious. And that's not how Greenskins really, should play. So I do think some of the new changes, like the Rampage mechanic and Mither, are necessary, and I think they're really good for the Greenskins. I think they're slightly overtuned, but I think a minor adjustment down. Now, as far as today's tournament, I've watched a lot of games in today's tournament, and I've seen Greenskins lose a lot of games. I saw an Eltharion game played by Loopy, in which he was able to defeat a really good Greenskin player who was using the same combo. Like, it can be beaten, obviously, and but Greenskins needed something to defend their Lords, because it was really obnoxious before. But anyways, that's just kind of my thoughts on the whole process. Yeah. I mean, even like if you take like half, like, because the Rampage, like Curse of the Jaff is 22 seconds, Witch Elves are 18 seconds, so it could be in that ballpark. I think 36 is a little bit too long. Granted, obviously it's conditional, and but Rampage is always conditional. But yeah, you can kind of pull down flyers, I suppose. But Greenskins have always had trouble with Lord Gooning. That's why Greenskins versus Vampire Counts was just like the most awful matchup ever. Like flying characters, it's better now. It's much better now. Like Greenskins can certainly fight back, but yeah, it was really frustrating to play Greenskins before against mass terror routes and single entity abuse and things like that. It was quite nasty for sure. Yeah, Mither. Yes. But yeah, I think the range is fine on it. I think just lowering the duration for sure, so it doesn't like last quite as long. Because the thing about Rampage, at least you still get the fight. The unit comes in and attacks and things like that. Yeah, Gooning Greenskin Lords was far too easy before. I think the changes are really good for Greenskins. But I think the Scars and Cad combo is pretty damn strong, but it's not as overpowered as like Vampire Coast was on launch and like some of the other things we've seen in like other DLCs. I mean, like, we're way, way worse than this. And it's pretty common in a lot of RTS games. Like, if you ever play Warcraft 3, for example, like getting stunned and snared is a pretty common thing. But yeah, it's a long duration. But Total War is a very, very different beast. It's some delicious water, my friends. And now we're in game 2. Soothsayer on the Dark Elves against Chief and the Empire. Sons of Sigmar. Wagons did get some buffs, guys. So we could see some wild wagon play. We have a donation from King Agizal. Thank you so much. Thanks for the countless hours of free entertainment. Thank you, man. And Paul, thank you for the 609. Happy birthday, man. Love the stream. It's not my birthday. Oh my God. You guys are such trolls. Thank you. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll probably get adjusted at some point. We'll see. Sir, what do you think of let's see, Josh Horowitz says, what do you think about Indie Pride's video on new abilities? Yeah, I mean, certainly as new DLCs do come out, like, things are, going to be... It's a very tough game to balance. And obviously most of, I would assume, the staff are more devoted to campaign. I don't think there's as much of a multiplayer presence. There is some. But, yeah, I mean, eventually all the factions will be brought into line, but it's a slower process, and I understand that can be perceived as power creep, and in some ways it is, but... yeah, I mean, I still think that, like, most factions, like, considering we have 15 factions in an RTS game with, like, this much diversity and magic, and it's pretty well balanced considering the circumstances. Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. Like, I think that, everything gets tuned down. It's just like in Warhammer 40k, for example. Like, they release new models or OP for, like, a couple months, and then they, like, figure out how to balance it. It's a hard thing to do, right? Because if you have internal testing, it's usually a handful of people. And when you release it to the mass audience at, like, an LVO or a big tournament, that's when you really start to see, like, what is really, really powerful and what isn't. So that's just my thoughts. Yeah. Would you ever do a Noob Faction Wars type cast? Yeah, I'd consider it. Yeah. I'm thinking into some new formats for sure. I'm pretty sure that, like, what you guys saw for Greenskins, like, in terms of the DLC, I'm pretty sure we're going to get the exact same thing for, like, all the other factions that haven't gotten it. So, like Beastmen, Wood Elves, Chaos, like, I bet you they're all going to get the same treatment before Game 3 comes out. I would be willing to put money on that. So, like, yeah, I think, like, what's going to happen is, like, you know, let's say how many ever months from now, we're going to get a Chaos update / DLC, and suddenly Chaos is going to be the one that everybody's complaining about. But Greenskins will probably be, you know, still be just as strong as they are now. But, you know, obviously it's just like, because, yeah, really, and also you have to understand that as new things are introduced into a metagame, people perceive them as stronger than they are because they don't understand them yet. They don't know how to play around it. They're not used to the interactions. So that's, like, another variable as well to consider before people jump to, like, really rapid conclusions. Yeah. But, so I always, like, kind of reserve my opinion for, like, something being out for, like, a month or two. And if after, like, 3 or 4 months, like, you see a faction dominate every tournament or just dominate most of their matchups between equally skilled players, then yeah, then there's an issue. We have a donation from Garland Green. Any idea what a new kidney costs in the black market? I have no idea. Perhaps ask Grom de Ponch. Yes. Yes. And here we are, guys. Let us focus in the battle. You also have to remember who's playing the units. Like, it's easy when you see, like, a player like Soothsayer. Like, Soothsayer could probably bring, like, 8 war wagons, and you guys would be like, oh, man, and I would, too. I would say the same thing. I'd be like, yeah, wagons are just busted. Look at Soothsayer just destroying all of his opponents with the wagons. You know, in the hands of certain players, things can be made to look OP. It's like when Falcon was, like, winning, like, huge tournaments using the Dread Saurian when it was considered, like, a terrible meme. It's just, it really depends on the player as well. So for Soothsayer in this build, he's got Blackheart Corsairs, which is pretty interesting. Pretty off meta, too. Usually times you just see Dread Spear spam, but Corsairs are really good against state troops. Relatively high DPS at 28 with bonus for infantry and good armor. So they trade very efficiently with spearmen and state troops and flagellants. I really like that. So he's got a couple of those Dread Spears, and it looks like a big cav army. So Cold Moon Knights, and it is going to be Big Pappy Malekith with Soul Stealer. And on top of that, Scourge Runner Chariots here and here. Dark Riders with Repeater Crossbows. And that's going to be it. A really classic Dark Elf army here from Sooth. Cav, Scourge Runner support, Dark Riders. Very, very nasty indeed. Yes. Yes. And here we go. So over here for Dabiggin, Chief, we got Pistoliers. Pretty good countermeasure against some of the skirmishing elements. Not so good against the Scourge Runners. And here we got Spear support. Looks like some Swordsmen. We got a Jade Wizard, Empire Captain on foot, which is pretty much the Chief special. Every time I see Chief in the tournament, he always has the Empire Captain on foot. Great cannons in the back to hammer the Scourge Runners, Empire Knights. And yeah, it's basically the classic Empire Knights buffing up with Karl Franz Reikland Runefang build. A little bit of healing, a little bit of cannon support, and a ton of state troops. It's a good build, honestly. I think it's good. Yeah, I thought about making a video on the balance thing. Because, like, it pretty much happens every DLC, you know. It's like when Marcus Wolfhart came out. Like, yeah, he was pretty OP with, like, some of his sniping, but, like, you know, it wasn't, yeah. I mean, it happens with everything. It's really tricky to balance, guys. It's really, really hard. But nonetheless, I've seen Greenskins. I'm actually going to be casting some replays from today where Greenskins got their business handed to them. So you guys will be seeing that coming up on the channel soon. And here we have the Great Cannons shooting downtown, going after the Scourge Runner Chariots of Soothsayer. Now, Sooth probably will juke this. They're going to be very efficient at that. Yeah, Sooth is like the mastermind of builds. It's pretty crazy. Like, every time I've played against him, like, his builds are just so perfectly thought out and, like, synergistic. Like, that Greenskin matchup we saw, like, realizing that there probably would be Stone Trolls, considering how good they are against Greenskin Daka, and then building so hard against Stone Trolls with the aspect of the Dread Knight plus the Boar Boy, like, flank. It was just so good. It was so good. Yeah. Hey, Rubber Duck of War. Yes, we are in the Grand Finals. Well, the top 4, not Grand Finals. We are in the top 4 here. So the semifinals of today's Eternal Challenger League Season 5 qualifier. As far as previous champions go, Falcon has won 3 of the 4 seasons. So Falcon won 1, 2. Zyphos won 3, I believe. And then Falcon won 4. So we're going to see if somebody can upset either of those champs this season. Over here we do have some light pressure coming in from Dabiggin. So he's got some Pistoliers and also Karl Franz coming in to go after some of these Blackheart Corsairs, which is, it's free real estate. You know, Sooth a little bit out of position. Not out of position per se, but his Cav on the other side of the battlefield, so being a little bit of a flank overload situation here. In the meantime, Repeater Crossbows shooting into the Empire Knights. Pistoliers are being forced back by Malekith, Gaze of Malice used as well. And the Scourge Runner is proving to be really, really nasty here. Just kind of pinning in Chief a little bit. But the Cold One Knights have finally reacted. Might actually go into fight, but I don't think so. Yeah, they're just going to, you know, play cautiously and use those Scourge Runners. And Chief is certainly going to be forced back a little bit. You can see some heavy damage actually going down on these Empire Knights and the Pistoliers and also the Gaze of Malice. Was able to get some really, really good damage here on top of the Swordsman, down to 61 models, as a matter of fact. So I wonder if the Scourge Runners will go in for a frontal charge. I don't think so. Basically what Soothsayer wants to do here, he wants to get big old Pappy Malekith and, you know, just bait in a blob fight and then use a Soul Stealer. Franz is really good in blob fights as well with the Reichland Runefang, but I still think Malekith wins those. Soul Stealer is just so powerful, and yeah, you want to avoid that for sure. Over here we do have a bit of a fight, which is good for the Empire. Empire Knights plus Franz are able to jump on top of these Cold Blue Knights, but you can see Empire Knights don't have the best AP, so it's still actually going relatively well. Nonetheless, Franz should be able to win that engagement with Reichland Runefang support. And some of the Empire Knights did do a frontal charge. I'm not really sure why, but they did charge into the Dark Elf lines, and Malekith was able to swoop in. So a bit of a trade there. Granted, it looks like the Dark Elves are coming out ahead in that trade, as these Empire Knights are pretty low, and the Golden Knights do finally get broken. I guess it's a bit of an even trade there. But yeah, Franz and these Empire Knights need to get away ASAP. If Chief lets his characters get caught here by Sooth, I think it's going to be game over. Yeah, because like Malekith's going to come in, just go balls deep. At least the Empire was able to get Franz away. Had Franz gotten like trapped in that situation, I mean, he could turn around and fight Malekith now. Granted, Malekith is being healed up by Soul Stealer, which isn't a great situation for him. Now, the Great Cannon is still shooting. On the far side, we have Pistoliers chasing down the Scourge Hunter chariots. And in the front, the Empire has engaged against the Corsairs across the battle lines, and it seems to be a bit of a wash, but the Empire Captain should be quite helpful there. But so far, I think Sooth getting those flank engagements is quite good, but remember, the longer this fight goes, the more value this Great Cannon is going to be able to get, the more Lizard Cav it's going to be able to drag down. But now Franz is actually being attacked here by big old Malekith, and he's taking a bit of damage. Golmaraz and Earthblood are popped, Stand Your Ground activated as well for Malekith, but you know, this is actually a situation that might be good for Chief, but no, another Soul Stealer. Man, brutal stuff. That hits everything. Granted, Malekith taking huge damage, but if Chief can get Malekith here, I think that's a good way to kind of get his bearings once again here in this battle. Corsairs will eventually break through against the Swordsmen. Great Cannon still shooting. Lifecaster going, but a little bit tricky here in the back line. The cannon is actually undefended, but it looks like some Spearmen from Chief are being moved out, which is a good play. So he's able to get the Spearmen screen up here, and maybe should be able to stop this. We'll see. Yeah, the cannon keeps shooting. Very, very good for those guys. Now, Franz up in the sky dueling. Word of Pain is activated on him as well. But if Franz can take out Malekith, that's going to be quite an accomplishment here. That would be a really, really good play for sure. Empire Knights on the ground kind of holding out the best they can, but the superior numbers of the Cold One Knights is certainly going to win that fight. Scourge Runner Chariots coming back here. It looks like both Scourge Runners from Soothsayer are going to be coming in and dogpiling in on the Great Cannon, and also some Corsairs are coming back here. It's a very uncomfortable situation for the Empire. And he doesn't really have any Empire Knights or anything to help out here, which is tough. Yeah, we have another big old fight, another Soul Stealer going down. So I think the first spell we saw was maybe the Soul Stealer from the Slaanesha's Harvesters. Yeah, it was, because we've seen three, two of which have been from Malekith. The first one was from the Slaanesha's Harvesters, the Soul Harvesters, as they should be called. But we have Franz dueling Malekith here, but a little bit surrounded. Granted, he does have some state troop support. There is also an Empire Captain, but a big loss here for the Empire in the back as the Great Cannon is taken out by the Black Ark Corsairs, who seem to have traded very effectively with state troopers, up to 94 kills. Certainly no joke. So Soul Stealer was off cooldown because it was used by the Slaanesha's Harvesters, their bound ability. It actually confused me for a second too. I was like, wait a second, how did he do 3? But then I saw that he had the Harvesters and Harvesters of Sorrow, Metallica-san. So Spearmen are coming in, but Corsairs are hot in pursuit. A beautiful Gaze of Malice coming in from Soothsayer. But Franz is, you know, the hero Gotham needs, and it looks like he is able to tear out some of these troops off. I mean, this is the only chance the Empire has here. If Franz is able to win with Runefang active, maybe bring down Malekith, but it's not looking likely, especially with the Scourge Runners ramrodding him and also shooting their ballistas into his back. There's a little bit of support here, but Franz is indeed broken. Are there any regrowths coming? It looks like he only brought Earthblood, so we're not even going to see a regrowth on Franz. Just Earthbloods, which of course heal for, I think, like 500-600 HP, compared to an overcasted regrowth, which is upwards of 2,000. I think it's like 2,080 HP or something like that. So the battle continues. A little bit of lag here. Looks like my game crashed. Hopefully the players didn't crash themselves. But nonetheless, that looks like a foregone conclusion for our boy Sooth there. Hopefully they're able to keep playing, but yeah, my game crashed. Curse the Baggins. Curse the Baggins indeed. So I can rewind in the stream and check that out, but yeah, it looks like Soothsayer had that game in the bag. 100% Malekith, Franz routing, like there's no way. All right, so we'll check in with the players. I think the game crashed. We'll see if they say anything here. Thank you, Misha, for linking the stream. I'm pretty terrible at that. Much appreciated. And it looks like they might still be playing. It might have just been me who crashed out. We'll find out here in a second. All right. The game's back up. See if they're still in the battle. And, okay, so I got to rehost that. Let's see. I know. It's happening. So I'll let them know. Go into chat. One sec, guys. We'll get this going here. Soothsayer and Chief. Don't worry, guys. We'll be back in business. Turns Arwar Jazael sabotaging him for what he did to them yesterday. I know, dog. It's so true, man. It's so true. All right, so let's go ahead and find Soothsayer. I more or less know where these guys are on my list. Although they might still be playing, actually. Which would be good. Let me go ahead and shoot him a direct message. And in the meantime, we can go ahead and head on over to the bracket. So if we head to the bracket here, we can see who is actually qualified for the bottom side. So it looks like it's going to be Enticity versus Satsuma on the bottom side of the bracket. Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and update this. Add in a new name. Yeah, it was 100% a Dark Elf win. I just want to talk to the players, that's why I'm rehosting. And Enticity. Anticity's been performing really, really well lately. Like pretty much every tournament he's in. All right. Did you guys finish game? No worries. Sounds good. Okay, so both players agree that it was over. So we're gonna get the next match started. So Enticity and he's facing off against Satsuma, I believe. Let's go and check the brackets. Yes. All right, perfect. So we're going to get started on the next match of the day. So let's go ahead and grab Enticity here. And got to go ahead and add Orion Stream to the friends list. One sec, guys. Sorry, just making some tweaks here. Bear with me. Stupid Steam interface is so confusing. Confirm. Perfect. Should be all set. All right, so Anticity's in the lobby. He's going to be on the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and switch back to the battle scorecards now. And we will update this. Soothsayer, of course, was able to win that 2-0. So now we'll go ahead and switch that. Anticity, 0. And now we have Satsuma for short. It'll fit better there. 0-0. And update. Look at that magic. It almost fit perfectly. Almost. We almost had it that time, my friends. Almost. Can't have everything in life. All right, looks good. Soothsayer saying that, all right, picks and bans. Go, go. Talaxon Soothsayer was actually saying that whenever Karl Franz dies, the game crashes. Latest Empire buffs. Yeah. And don't worry, you guys will see the Dark Lord Aerocrastic, I'm sure, in future qualifiers. Yes, he is here in chat. All right, looking good to me. So now we're in the next run here. It's going to be Soothsayer moving on to the finals. Let's go ahead and jump back down and update the bracket. Let's get the mighty Soothsayer up here. And he's going to face off against the winner of Satsuma and Enticity here. With a nice 2-0 victory against Chief. Chief will be back, I'm sure. Definitely some really nasty play from Sooth. He seems very, very on point today. So it looks like we might get the classic Greenskins versus Vampire Coast. Now, I actually played this against Enticity the other day, and it was a really, really good match. So I kind of have an idea of what I think Satsuma might do here, but again, you never know. Do you already know what the next meta minutes is going to be about? Oh, that's a question for Aerocrastic. I would imagine High Elves or Greenskins. Who knows? Who knows indeed? It's certainly going to be exciting. So Enticity, let's go ahead and see how he did before. So if we look at the qualifier, he did have a 2-1 victory over Viking Claw. So apparently a contested series, which is always good. 2-1s are always really, really fun for best of threes. Oh man, Leonard, you're having some pierogi, dude? Oh, I'm jealous. They actually used to stock my local store with some pierogi. But ever since this happened, they stopped stocking it, but then obviously you can't. We order our food to the house right now during these times. So Enticity is first, so we're going to do picks and bans. So let's go ahead and get the map set for them so they know what they're playing on. And you can do Castle Drakenhof. Map is set. Cool. So now players are doing their jam. And we'll get this party started. So that's how ECLs work. Today we had, I think, 60 plus people playing in the tournament after drops. And basically, we played the whole tournament out. I just kind of admin and hang out. But when we get to the top 4, I go and cast the stream. Because otherwise, if I cast it the whole time, I've been up since 7 a.m. and the tournament started at 8 a.m. So yeah. It would be a long run for sure. Cool. Everything looks good. So we got Enticity going Norsca, actually, and banning Tomb Kings and Vampires. I would actually like to see a Greenskin pick here. Satsuma actually was taking a bit of a break from the game, but he came back, and he's obviously a top-tier tournament player, but he came back to play, obviously the Greenskins called him back, so he is a Greenskin main, which is exciting. And whenever there's a new DLC focusing on a faction, it's always really cool to see the players who have mained them for a long time kind of pick the new things up and integrate them into their existing builds. Yeah, so we'll see. Good, we got Orion in here. We're all set. And it is showtime. It is showtime indeed. What is he going to pick? Yep, I knew it. I knew it. There was just this calm before the storm. He's going for the Greenskin. So yes, it is going to be glorious, glorious Wah. Let's get this party started. Smash that like button, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, everything looks good on my end. They're really easy to make? I don't know about that. Lady Turin would know. She's answered your question. How's it going, Wicked? Well, you know, we haven't had any pump wagons. Well, I'm sure there were some in the tournament earlier, considering we had a ton of games. But yeah, no pump wagons so far in the finals. Soothsayer, I don't think brought any. He actually went with Goblin Wolf Chariots instead. Man, that first game Soothsayer brought was just so nasty with the Mass Overwhelm. And it's kind of a cool roadmap, too. Like, if you're playing against Greenskins and you have access to, Death Magic, that could be a really good way to buckle troll lines. Like, if you're expecting Stone Trolls, maybe like in this matchup, for example, Enticity could bring, like, a Deathcaster aspect to the Dread Knight and then, run them over, right? It's really, really good. And the Wah does, of course, give you immunity to Psychology, but Wah isn't instant anymore. You have to charge it up, so it's not like the Greenskins are going to have that right out of the gates. So it's a nerf in some respects, that you can't just do it right away, right? I really hope that we see a Rogue Idol just for the sake of entertainment. I don't think it would be good, but I hope we do see it. Yeah. So we will see. Major Moolah, we actually did see an Eltharion game today in the tournament earlier today, but it obviously wasn't streamed. It was a really, really good match. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it because I'm going to put it up on the channel, but it was a masterclass showcase of Eltharion, who I think needs some buffs. I think he needs a cost reduction in multiplayer because he's a little bit overpriced for what he does. But yeah. Yep. It's okay, Ryan Upson. The first best of 3 was very, very quick indeed. But it was a good series. It was a good series. The Wah is coming to town. It's about 1 o'clock. Pretty nice day out. Life is good. Yeah, I'm excited for the Beastmen to get some stuff. I hope they eventually get like some new lords, because like Morker is just like he's cool, but he's kind of boring. Like, I'd love to see some like Gorbel type lord or something. That would be so badass. Who knows, guys? Who knows? All in due time. So question says, Turn, what do you think the best way to deal with Rogue Idols as Bretonnia is? Yeah, it's hard. I still think you're probably not going to face too many Rogue Idols as Bretonnia because they're just going to use Spiders, which are way better against the Cav and still are super armored. But against Bretonnia, or as Bretonnia, you could drag him down with like a ton of Peasant Archers probably. Like 3 or 4 Peasant Archers could wear one down, especially as its armor starts to crumble. Paladins on horseback could probably do okay. But yeah, those are really your best answers, I think. Like cycle charging with Paladins, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Bretonnia has always had a huge problem with like big armor. So players still deciding on their armies. Thank you, Kenny Thompson. Wow. Even though it's not my birthday, I'll take it. What's my favorite unit from the DLC? Grom the Paunch. I really like Grom the Paunch because like I stopped playing Greenskins in tournaments because every single time I did, and this was before the DLC, like, Yeah, I'd win some games sometimes, but like the whole time I was like running in circles with my lord, trying to like dodge monsters and sniping attempts from like Wood Elves, Arrows of Kurnus, like Manticore summons. I just got so frustrated, like protecting my Greenskin lords, that I was like, screw this, I'm just going to go play Coast and Skaven and in factions that can defend their lords. But when Grom the Paunch came, I was like, oh, hell yeah, like a regenerating, fast, elusive Greenskin lord that's also pretty beefy. Like, give me that. I really like Grom the Paunch. It's not my birthday, Misha. It's not. It's a running gag. Yeah. It is a running gag indeed. Tell the players they can start when ready. It looks like Enticity is ready. Vicious Satsuma thinking very hard on this build here. Chris Vickers. Hey, hope you're doing well, man. Glad I could catch this. Hope you're doing good. Basically, I'm ready for a mullet at any time. Basically, you just need to give me a haircut and trim the front to make it like short and then leave the back long. That's what a mullet is. So I'm ready for the mullet. Whenever the time arises, the mullet can be summoned. Although most of the haircutting places are closed right now, so it kind of does certainly add some layers of difficulty to getting that done. King Agisol, thank you so much for the $2. Bobo, happy birthday to you, man. Yeah. Happy birthday. Yes. How's it going, Fear? Yeah, Mr. Liu, you can hide near the spider, but like if you're hiding, like you're not being like functional around the battlefield, especially with like melee lords. But like that's a lot of like what ifs, and even if you are hiding near a spider, like it's still, you can still be gooned and like tear routed and like, oh god, it was so frustrating. It's much better before. Now, Mr. Liu, I'm not saying you need to worry about that now. Like now it's not so bad. Greenskins have many ways to protect their characters, like slows and snares and, you know, all sorts of goodies. So now if we take a look at Enticity, this is the build we played this matchup the other day. Enticity brought this exact build against me. Now, the thing is, I was expecting like Mammoths and like Famir and like a bit of a Bull Rush, like Wolfric, but he goes with Mass Skirmishing, a bit of a Sirtha Ek build. So Enticity has a bunch of horsemen, 6 in total. So a combination of throwing axes, horse masters, and horsemen. 3 basic marauders. He uses 1 chariot. He's got Wolfric on horseback with Spirit Leech just to pretty much try and goon and snipe the lords. Or, you know, whittle them down, go in the late game, and use the aspect of the Dread Knight or Doom and Darkness to try and break the Greenskin formation. He's got a bunch of Condom Wolves. He's got one here, a bunch of Hounds, and that's pretty much it for his force. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little army, to say the least. And now, for the forces of the Greenskins, Dawa. He's got Orc Boys. Secondary line's going to be Orc Biggins, which of course are very good against Skin Wolves, but you see, this build is kind of like, it seems like it's expecting a rush. It has a freaking Giant. Like, Giants are a countermeasure against Mammoths, right? And this is kind of the trap I fell into as well. The replay will be going up, and it was a very close game, but Enticity was able to actually edge me out. But yeah, it's like, the build is designed to play around like Greenskin like tankiness. So he's got some Orc Warboy Biggins, he's got some Spider Riders, and it looks like a Daka line as well. So just Goblin Archers, not a big investment in those. And for his Lord, he's got Skarsnik, he's got a Goblin Big Boss, and a Shaman. So there's not going to be a River Troll Hag slow, just Skarsnik Rampage. Sneaky Stabbing with him, and it looks like Curse of the Bad Moon, Itchy Nuisance, and Sneaky Stabbing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The Chariots of Chaos are here. Granted, there's just one chariot, but it's a very imposing chariot. I'm sure Sirtha Ek is accompanying Wolfric into battle here. Sirtha Ek is probably one of these guys here. These guys are pretty cool looking. Helmets, I don't remember their helmets being like that, but I guess they are. Yeah, very awesome stuff. So the battle's underway. Going to be a ton of skirmishing, and obviously Enticity has a massive advantage in the mobile game. 3 horsemen per, I think, each Spider Rider. So the Spider Riders are going to be easily overwhelmed. And from there, probably is going to force the Greenskins out of their box a little bit. Why would anyone rush Greenskins? So Greenskins are a faction that obviously is super fighty, but so is Norsca. For example, if you have Norsca, you have some leadership mechanics like bombing leadership, you have a Mammoth. You can break Greenskin front lines really, really quick, especially before they get their WA. I've seen it done before. However, I don't know if this is common, but this is the way I've seen Enticity play against Greenskins. And it certainly catches you off guard. Because this build is designed to just go fisticuffs with Norsca. Just put on those boxing gloves, just, put your chin down and just swing for the fences, right? That's kind of the style of play here. But Enticity does not give it to you. He will not give it to you. Yes. And here comes the Marauder Horsemen going after the Piggies now. Might be able to bring down some of those wild Hajeks. And here the Forest Goblin Spider Riders are pulling back now. Granted, the Greenskins do have Goblin Archers and things like that, so they're not helpless against the blitz of the Hounds and whatnot. They can still play this defensive game and try and get value, but So far, you can see some of the Orc Boar Boys are actually being dragged down, as are these Orc Biggins, both of which are unshielded. I think Orc Boar Boys are actually, no, the Biggins aren't because they're carrying the kind of lances, but the regular Orc Boys are shielded, which kind of makes me think they might be better in some circumstances, like in these kind of skirmishing games and things like that. Yeah, this is how it goes. And I mean, he has Goblin Archers. Goblin Archers are pretty jankety, 115 range. Like, it's not that much more range than the Horsemen, and he has so many Horsemen, he could probably focus down the Goblin Archers if he wants to, but yeah, these are Orc Boys. Orc Boys are shielded, and it looks like a Sea Fang did go down as well. So he basically used Sea Fang to nuke the Rusty Arrows here, which also made contact with some Orc Boys. Yeah, and taking out the Archers is great. Gives Norsca some really, big flexibility. So he whittles them down, sends in his Condom Wolves, able to get some good shock damage, maybe even break them. And now, like, if the Greenskins want to counter and charge with their pigs and their spiders, he can then kite back, right? The Marauder Horsemen are going to be able to throw and just drag them through the mud. Now the Spider Riders are, slightly overextended. Look at this. Vicious Satsuma sends the Spider Riders out. Enticity comes in with the Skin Wolves, countercharges, kills them as well. And this is like a very, very solid pick apart. Now, Skarsnik does have the Rampage. The Giant's kind of like a dead weight here, right? The Skin Wolves will be very good against it in the late game, and the Marauder Horsemen will as well. I have to say, just masterful play here from Enticity. Really, really good play. And now he's charging in with the Chariots, and Wulfric's coming in. The Greenskins are going to countercharge, but he can simply pull back. He is just methodically picking apart this Greenskin army. Just really, really, really good stuff. So now more Javelin fire coming in. You can see here these Orc Boys are broken. The Javelins, where are they going to go next? I would imagine into the Biggins. Biggins are something that will be very, very scary to deal with in the late game, but we will certainly see. Skin Wolves, are they going to go in? Got to watch out. Skarsnik is here. Skarsnik could rampage them if they get below 80%. But it looks like Enticity might be charging them in. Could be his first misplay of the game. I think he's trying to get them over to Wulfric. Yeah, this is a very aggressive play, like right into Biggins, right into Skarsnik, but maybe he's going to be looking for a big aspect of the Dread Knight or a Terror Route or something, but that seems to be the first big misplay Enticity has had this game. Unless he's able to prove me wrong, because sending your Skin Wolves into a Daka line and anti-large, high DPS units seems like a pretty catastrophic mistake. And now Skarsnik is going to be able to, for example, use the Rampage on these Armored Skin Wolves and probably get the value and take them out. On the other side, Enticity has Hounds and Marauders. Oh, I think it was intentional, maybe. Oh, man, and a huge boat attack going right through those Orc Boar Boy Biggins, but at what cost? Anti-large, Spider to Bad Moon going down right here, and yeah, you can see Spider to Bad Moon able to really, give the anti-large buffs to all these units. Now both Skin Wolves are going to be taken out, so a bit of a misplay there from Enticity. Maybe he was trying to get in there and use the Sea Fang, but I don't think that worked out very well. So the Horsemaster is now countercharging the Spider Riders. Here we have some Hounds pushing in. Now the Marauders are also going to be surging into the Greenskin lines, and it looks like the Soul Blight is going down as well, but yeah, I think the Greenskins might have gotten themselves back in the game there. Taking out both Armored Skin Wolves is a really, really nice play. 8 models left on this one. These ones only have 10. That was pretty punishing for sure, and now the game's pretty even. I really thought Norsca was picking them apart until they made that misplay there. But it is what it is. So now we have the Big Boss going. It looks like he's chasing after Wulfric. Wulfric could turn around. That Big Boss better be careful. Nice Rampage right there from Skarsnik, able to Rampage the Marauder Chariots right into the Giant. And the Rampage is a really, really strong synergy with the Giant for sure, because you can pull in the tricksy traps. Although the Chariot is still kind of moving and cycle charging, even when it's Rampaged, which is pretty funny. It does break. Honestly, the Rampage wasn't too bad. He didn't lose too much from that. At least it wasn't like Wulfric or something. So now the Greenskins have set up a defensive perimeter, able to secure themselves. It seems like the Skin Wolf Gambit did not quite pay off. I don't know about the Winds of Magic situation, but so far you can see the Chariots being pushed back. Wulfric has some Hounds here. I wonder if he's going to go in for it. He might. Looks like the Marauders are being sent in to fight the Orc Biggins. And it looks like the Chariot is going to be chased off. Granted, we do have some Warhounds plus Wulfric here who might be able to isolate that Big Boss. But Satsuma, oh, a Curse of the Bad Moon going down. Able to go down right on top of those Marauders there. Very, very good stuff. And here comes the big, thick Giant making its way back into the ranks. Wulfric going to be dueling the Big Boss. Some Hounds coming in as well. Ooh, but the Giant coming in for the club. Might be able to do it. And honestly, it seems like on the far side, the Orc Archers are fending off a lot of the Skirmishers. It seems like Satsuma is really stabilized here. The early game, I think, was going very badly for him, but he was able to kind of gain his composure, make some really good plays and isolations, and from there, get back in this glorious game. And yes, for anyone joining, this is the semifinals. It's a best-of-3 showdown between Enticity and Vicious Satsuma. Enticity on Norskins and Satsuma on the Greenskins. So this is the first of the potentially 3 games. Forest Goblin Spider Riders going to be screening out the Inquisition here, and I think these Spider Riders are a really nice inclusion. They kind of work as like a bit of a melee roadblock as well. We have the Night Goblins coming in with their little prison shanks. They got their stabbas ready. Going to be stabbing down many of these horsemen. And it looks like Satsuma is actually pulling ahead. Man, very impressive. It seems like his build was not super well designed to deal with this much skirmishing, but he's been able to get some really good picks. Now over here we do have aspect of the Dread Knight going down on the Skin Wolves. So they're going to be causing some terror, which does actually terrify off those Spider Riders. Balance of Power isn't Point of No Return. And you have to remember, Norsca does have a fair amount of regeneration with their Skin Wolves, so obviously they can get really, really good second wins here as the game does progress. And with the mobility advantage, if he's able to break off any of the Greenskin archers or other troops like that, he can then chase them off the battlefield. So this game is far from over. And you can see the balance is, of course, Greenskin favored, but not by much. So now the Waa's active. That's going to be really scary. And oh, this is a huge pick. The Goblin Big Boss. It would be pretty easy to kite like many, many Greenskin builds, but in this case, it gives them some countermeasures and some punishment for that type of play. Granted, I think the duration is a little bit too long on the fermented fungi. It wouldn't have mattered there. That was only about 8 seconds worth. So the caster is dead. I think that's going to seal doom for Norsca, as the kite has been kind of dismantled a little bit. There are some big uns out here who potentially may be isolated, but I don't think Wolfric can carry. I really think the biggest folly of this game was the Skin Wolf play, and I think that cost him the game. The Skin Wolves going in there took like lethal damage. It got rid of his really big stopping power, and from there he's having to use like Marauder Horsemen and other troops like that to fight some of these Greenskin mobility assets. And that's going to be it. Very, very nice comeback by Satsuma. Awesome play. Like I said, he was certainly on the ropes there, but was able to scrap his way back and do all of you Greenskin fans quite proud. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. Satsuma's going to go up 1-0 in this best of 3, and now they'll be moving on to the next glorious battle. So for the map, let's go ahead and see what we want to do. Don't want to put you guys on any horrible, horrible dimly lit maps, or Kelp and Cold Dust is a fun one, but I've always felt like it's pretty imbalanced for a couple of factions. What do we want to do? We haven't done a Chaos Waste map yet. We can do that, that's fine. Satsuma said, I had the biggest misclick at the start. Did you see my giant wander off? Yeah, well, I mean, it's lore friendly. Map set. All right. That was a really, really good comeback. Skarsnik had schemes. He did have schemes indeed. Gotta love the Greenskins. So now we're on the picks and bans. The map is set. We're going to be on Northern Chaos Wastes. Honestly, that Norscan build was winning in the beginning. If he had just kept his Skin Wolves more careful and like continued to pick them apart, I think he could have won the game. It was just, yeah, it was just the execution of the Skin Wolves at the end there, I think, really dragged him down. Yeah, it is what it is. Back to the Chaos Wastes we go. I don't think we'll see Chaos, unfortunately. With all the new toys that are out there, I don't think Chaos is the shiniest one in the block anymore. That giant really did work, though, says Enticity. Yeah, I guess it did, you know. Yeah, once the Skin Wolves are gone. So now Enticity, I'm surprised he's not going to go Coast. So Enticity going Dark Elves, actually. He's a vampire. He's one of the best Vampire Coast players like out there. I was really expecting him to go Coast here, but I suppose he thinks if he can win with Dark Elves, then he can close out the series with his strongest faction and his most confident faction. That would be my 2 cents. Yeah. That was a very healthy giant, Rubber Duck. Yeah. Yeah, all right, so they're doing their business. Oh, I think he banned Vampire Coast. Let's see. Was that? Okay, he picked Skaven, banned Coast and Dwarfs. Okay, that explains it. Yeah, he banned his strongest faction. Yeah. So Dark Elves versus Skaven, a classic Warhammer 2 matchup here. Oh man, back in game 1, back when Forsaken actually like weren't terrible. I used to love Forsaken. They were like my favorite unit. Like just so fast and hard hitting and like good at flanking. Like man, they were cool, but yeah, they just suck now. They're just too squishy. Their DPS isn't even that great, it doesn't feel like. Well, if Enticity gets to game 3 here and wins this, then yeah, you'll certainly see Vampire Coast. Vicious Satsuma says, I don't even worry about winning so much. As long as I win one game in a series, I'm happy. That's a good attitude to have. Michael Lundby, maybe I will. Godfried Crump. Sweet, sweet Crump in there. Turin streams never disappoint. Commentary is balls deep on point. Well, I'm glad to hear that. A great use of many of my descriptors. Yeah, thank you so much for your support. Giants have insane leadership. They're really hard to break. Like I think their leadership like starting is literally like 100. Hey, Richie! I don't see a message from you, Richie. But nonetheless, thank you for the fat 50, dude. Is that some 50 poundage? Or euros? I'm just getting it all backwards now. My brain just isn't working. Richie, thank you so much, dude. You said, love the stream and the channel. Hey, man, right back at you, dude. Thank you for the very generous support here of the tournament. Turin Chaos buff when? I have no idea. Honestly, I had a pretty good build with Chaos the other day. I still think Chaos has some teeth. They're not like useless, but like it's just hard to justify picking them with so many stronger factions out there. Unless you're really like a Chaos main. Although I love using Kolek. Like Kolek and Hell Cannons, it's so much fun. Richie Rich coming in hard. Thank you, Richie. All right. So here we are in the grand finals. Looks like Satsuma and Enticity dueling out Clash of Fates. Soothsayer awaits him in the finals atop his throne of Palanquins or Slan Gold or whatever else he's sitting on. Do you need AP to take down a giant? No. Giants have very, very low armor, if any at all. I think it's like 10 or 15. I can't remember. Or maybe not. I can't even remember what Giants armor is off the top of my head. But no, you do not. Any like decent missiles, like even Empire Archers or Skaven Slave Slingers can kind of pepper them down over the course of a fight. Good attitude. So the players are doing their picks. Understandably, the picks take a little bit longer when you're in the grand finals. There's quite a bit at stake. Grom kind of looks like an ogre. I think the lore, if anybody was wondering about why Grom is like big and thick like that, I'm pretty sure what happens in the lore, he was a regular goblin and then he ate troll meat. So he ate like troll meat, which regenerated inside of him and like made him fat. Yeah, I think that's actually like how it happened. It's pretty funny actually. Yeah, he ate a troll. It's pretty crazy. I think that's why he has like staples on his stomach to like keep him from exploding. Hey, big BJ fan. I'm glad to hear that. Is that a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fan? Is that what that stands for? Yeah. Chosen are not immune to psychology. No, they can be terror-routed. It's kind of an interesting thing with Chosen. They're like, yeah, they're the most elite kind of chosen of the Chaos Gods, but the thing with like Chaos Warriors too is they're kind of like selfish. So if things like turn bad, unless they're like really hardcore fanatics. Like if you're like super afflicted by one of the gods of chaos, at least in 40k and fantasy from my understanding, like hardcore followers of Nurgle or whatever will just like fight to the end, right? At least. But maybe that's more of a 40k thing because like Death Guard are kind of like that. Granted, they're still mortals. So like Chosen kind of have the selfish attitudes of, you know, chaos followers, right? Like if things are going bad or it's like the ebbs and flow of things kind of wane and wax, like they're going to kind of go with the flow rather than like fight to the end. It's very like selfish. I don't really know about in fantasy how it is, but I know in 40k like devout fanatics of different gods will oftentimes go. It's blackjack. Oh, all right, cool. It could be a couple things. Yes. All right, I'll tell them to start when ready. They need to wait for me if that's what they're doing. I don't think so. Yeah, Skaven versus Dark Elves though. It's going to be interesting. Probably see some Bell action, some Plague Furnace. Who the hell knows? Yeah, I'm sure like when Game 3 comes out and Chaos gets like reworked and like all that, there'll be like, you know, different marks you can give to make them immune to psychology. I really do want to play like a Nurgle Chaos Warrior faction. That would be so exciting to me. I think like the Baroque, like spiky look of like Nurgle Warriors from Fantasy is so badass. Same in 40k, that's why I play Death Guard. Vilks, you've missed a couple matches, yes. Yes, you have. I wish they gave Grom a Mike Tyson-esque voice. Mike Tyson is so scary though. Man, I hope, like, I know, like, it's always can be a little bit tragic when, like, really old boxers and fighters come back, but a big selfish part of me wants to see Iron Mike just get in there and just deck somebody. Like, there was whispers of him fighting Evander Holyfield, which I wouldn't want to see. Evander is pretty punchy now. But I'd like to see him fight, like, I don't know, Iron Mike in there. Like, I hope when he makes his comeback for the exhibition fight, he goes hard, because, like, Mike Tyson just kind of, like, sparring around. That's not, like... Seeing Iron Mike just haymaker someone down with one of his like his weaves and hooks, like, oh god, that would be so awesome. All right, just checking everything. Looks good. All right, perfect. And here we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Dark Elf forces. We have Malekith, Velociraptor Malekith with Soul Stealer, and it looks like he does have the Circlet of Iron as well, which actually adds 50% to the Overcast. So that's pretty good, actually. So basically what Enticity is doing, he brought the Circlet of Iron, which adds miscast chance to the Skaven casting. And Skaven love to spam summons, right? So every time they summon Clan Rats or anything else, there's a substantial chance that they'll be taking some damage. Very, very good play there. I like that. Witch Elves. Frontline of Corsairs and Spears. Some cab play as well. Some Dark Rider skirmishing. I mean, yeah, it's pretty classic. Just infantry moving up with a ton of cab, actually. Man. Cold Blue Knights, 2 Dark Riders. Cold Blue Knights, 2 Dark Riders, each of which is flanked by repeater crossbows. It's a really, really strong build, actually. I think it's quite good. And now for the forces here. Oh man, look at this. Of Vicious Satsuma going in with double Hell Pit Abomination. He does also have 2 Plague Claw Catapults, which will be very, very good against archers, but not so good against mobility. Granted, it still can make contact. Main line's going to be Skaven Slave Slingers, Skaven Slaves, some Clan Rats, Skrulk Daddy, Assassin, and Assassin. Ooh, yeah, this is looking quite juicy, if you ask me. I am liking this build quite a bit. Blake Colborn, Mike Tyson versus Kimbo Slice. Mike Tyson would destroy Kimbo Slice. Oh, yeah. I enjoyed watching Kimbo in MMA. It was fun, but come on, let's be real here. Mike Tyson, if Mike Tyson had gotten into like MMA in his youth, I think he would have just been the Terminator. It's kind of like Bo Jackson as well, if any of you guys know who that is. Yeah. Iron Mike had some very insightful quotes. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth was one of my favorite ones. I think that was how it went. It's so true, right? You can sit and scheme. I remember like playing in StarCraft 2 tournaments and like scheming builds, and then as soon as you just get punched by someone, you're just like, oh man, okay, all that's out the window. Yeah, poor Kimbo. It's definitely tragic. His son is actually a Bellator fighter now, Kimbo Slice's son, and I think he's won his last 2 fights. All right, guys. Anyways, back to Warhammer. Sorry I go off on tangents. And yeah. The Hell Pit Abominations are pretty cool. I guess against like Malekith, what applications will they have here? Be pretty good against the Cav play as well. Witch Elves are going to be a bit of a problem though. Skaven should get mowed down by the Witch Elves in melee combat. Granted, we do also have some Plague Claw Catapults, which I would probably focus the Witch Elves, to be honest. The Corsairs are a little bit more manageable. You know, Skrulk and the Assassins can kind of wear them down, but the Witch Elves are quite nasty. Yeah. Oh man, Fedor Emelianenko versus Iron Mike? Yeah, that'd be crazy. Fedor is just like... Fedor is like the king of haymakers in MMA. For sure, he was back in the Pride days. Eddie Hall versus Half-Thor? I don't know, dude. That's just such a circus. I have no idea. I saw all the videos, yeah. I don't know. Eddie Hall versus Half-Thor Bjornsson? Like, Half-Thor is bigger, but like I feel like Eddie Hall probably has more boxing experience. It really is going to come down to cardio, because like they're too muscular to actually throw hard punches. You know, they're just going to be like these giant, stiff, like, jabs, and it's just going to come down to cardio. So whoever has better cardio will win that fight. That's what happens when you get too muscular. Like, they just don't have that same snap to their punches. So the Plague Claw Catapults are shooting downtown here. It looks like maybe they're going after the Dark Elf Skirmishers. Yeah, oh, nice contact there. Actually took out 4 of those guys. On the other side, the Plague Claw Catapult is still shooting at the Skirmishers, but it's not going to be super cost effective. Warp Lightning Cannons would be exponentially more useful here, but they're still actually doing damage. And the problem is for the Skaven here, I got Clan Rats and Clan Rats. I suppose there's a Hell Pit here as well. Dark Elves might be able to overwhelm this position. It's hard to say. So here we have some Cold War Knights running down some Skaven Slaves, and it looks like the Witch Elves and other units are advancing pretty well up on the high ground. Skaven Slave lines are taking the initial beating, so you can see the Skaven Slaves here are getting run over. These rats are about to be hunted by all these shirtless ladies here, or I guess clothless ladies. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, here, you can see the Witch Elves are going to catch the rats, probably will rampage them relatively quickly once they do a little bit of damage. And the Dark Riders coming in and smashing. So right now, Enticity doing a pretty good job just kind of cleaning up the chaff, but man, the Plague Claw Catapult's just narrowly missing. And Skaven Slave Slinger support taken out, but Hell Pit Abomination should be able to peel here. But oh no! He better get those spears on top of that artillery piece. That'll be rough if he doesn't. But yeah, the Dark Elves pushing in pretty methodically, picking off Skaven Slaves where they can, and honestly not taking much damage against the Plague Claw Catapults. Yeah, I think the Catapults should switch onto the infantry. It's going to be much more effective here. So far Satsuma has defended his artillery pieces. Neither Plague Claw Catapult is down, but once the Witch Elves like get close, and all the Cav kind of pressure as well, because like the Witch Elves are going to push right in on this, and then all the Cav will probably blitz it as well, and it should be enough to overwhelm it. I don't know. Repeater crossbows are just going to be sitting on the Hell Pit Abominations. I'm a little bit concerned for the Skaven defense, but I really actually think the build's quite cool, like how he set up like 2 minor satellite stations for his armies. I think that's quite neat. Anyways, Cold Blood Knights charging in here, going into the Assassins plus also into the Slingers. Assassins will be able to take out probably a model with each swing. And it looks like the Helleroni, the chillest of the dudes in all the realm, are going to be pulling back now. Now, I wonder if Enticity is going to decide if he wants to like overload one position. Is he going to like jump over here and go after the Plague Claw Catapult? Good luck, have fun. Very cool, but yeah. Like, this is what I'm saying. This whole position, there's no way 2 Clan Rats and a Hell Pit can hold this. Like, the Hell Pit Abomination has fallen back. And yeah, this looks like what's happening here. So basically, Vicious Satsuma is going to yield this position. He's just going to let the rats here get sacrificed to the Horn Rat. And he's going to fall back with both Hell Pits and make a last stand here on the other Plague Claw Catapult, which is smart. I think the fact that he's so... Yeah, this position, there was no way it's going to hold, especially when the Witch Elves like got up in its face. It's going to get very, very tricky there. So here we have the Helped Abomination defending this one now. We have both Assassins and Scroll. Currently, Balance Power is still pretty even. I mean, the losses here, it's really just the Plague Claw Catapult. Maybe like 1,500, 2,000 gold worth of losses. And now the Skaven are going to be able to make a good hold, I think. Lord Scroll here probably has a ton of summons. But again, the Overcast thing is quite real. Repeater Crossbows shooting into the artillery piece, I think. It's a little bit hard to tell. And Enticity making a huge effort to try and sneak around. Something else that's very scary for Satsuma here is the fact that there's a Soul Stealer. So the Skaven, if they're going to be like blobbed up on top trying to defend this catapult, Soul Stealers could become a very, very nasty punishing mechanic. One issue, of course, for the Dark Elf army is going to be dealing with the characters. The Witch Elves are very well equipped to actually kill like Assassins and Skrulk, but if the Witch Elves get worn down, there won't be too much. I mean, Malekith on Velociraptor I suppose would be okay, but Skrulk plus 2 Assassins could easily manhandle him. So in the back, pretty decent hold so far from Satsuma. He's got the Rod of Corruption going down. Sisters of Singing Doom here are perhaps going to beat their doom. And somehow the Clan Rats here actually aren't getting terror-routed. They're holding pretty firm, which is quite impressive. Stand your ground from Skrulk, probably keeping them in business. So now we have a big old Dark Elf flank. Dark Riders coming in, collapsing on the back here of the Skaven Slave Slingers, which will probably go pretty quick. Malekith and some Corsairs are pressing danger close here to the Plague Claw Catapult, and this might be the beginning of the end for the Skaven. They do have the Council Guard here, but now the Witch Elves were able to get on top of the Catapult, and they should be able to shut it down in a moment, I would imagine. Oh, I don't know what that was. Sorry about that, guys. Some door was slammed by the wind, perhaps. The Malekith here, still fighting. Assassin's Trophy active on him. Repeater Crossbows shooting in downtown, and yeah, it looks like the Dark Elves are really starting to get in there, but again, the double Helped Abominations might be a big thing, but yeah, 2 Repeater Crossbows with ample ammunition, I suppose. One of them is about 15-20%. Is it going to be enough? You know, I think if Anticity doesn't actually commit and finish off a Helped and lets them kind of heal up, that could actually maybe cost them the game. Council Guard here are going to hold well. Witch Elves are grinding. Nice surround here from the Dark Riders, but not going to matter too much. Yeah, it's basically going to be 2 Helped Abominations stacked on top of Council Guard, holding to the bitter end. So for those of you guys in chat wondering why the Skaven aren't breaking, Council Guard are the Regiment of Renown of Storm Vermin, and they're actually unbreakable. So basically, they also give Guardian, which is really good, because now these Skaven Assassins plus Skrulk are also getting really good physical resist. And you know what? This blob is actually working out pretty well for a Skaven. There certainly needs to be some punishment, like a Malekith Soul Stealer or something, because the 2 Assassins with the Rival High Talismans, which they did bring to the battle, is nerfing the melee attack stats. You can see right here, -40 on everyone who approaches. I think Enticity really needs to make sure to finish off the Helpeds. Yeah, like, start focusing down that Helped Abomination right there. For sure. We'll see. A little bit of lag here, guys, but it's the nature of the beast. We do have a couple people in here, of course, myself and the 2 players, and then the glorious Orion, a Russian caster, is casting our tournament as well. Malekith does get the Soul Stealer finally. Stand your ground active as well, and this is for all the marbles here in today's qualifier. If Enticity drops this, then Satsuma will go to the finals to face Talaxdal and Soothsayer. Certainly some very, very tough competition for sure in this tournament today. We had a lot of legendary tournament players. So Malekith here, yeah, they need to get this Helped Abomination down. This is big, actually. He was able to get it away from the Skaven formation. I'm not sure how that happened. It could have been a misplay from Satsuma, but I'm still confident that Helped Abomination is certainly not going quietly. And the other Helpeds coming in. Assassin's Trophy down on Malekith. He's going to get beaten up here. He's got to pull back and maybe just save up for Soul Stealers. Those Repeater Crossbows are running danger low on ammunition too, which is a huge concern because those Helpeds are going to be very tough to bring down without that. Now this one is steady, has about 3,000 HP. Witch Elves might be able to come in, give some DPS, and maybe rampage it, which would be very, very clutch for sure. But yeah, the Repeater Crossbows are running a little bit low, and the Skaven Council Guard with the Guardian buff making the Assassins so damn hard to take down. Pretty insane for sure. Pretty insane indeed. Yeah, but the Helped really needs to go down. Malekith lurking. I think Malekith is currently just saving his Winds of Magic. And here the Cold Knights coming in for another charge. Might be able to potentially break down this Helped Abomination. Oh, nice Rod of Corruption from Skrulk Daddy, hitting pretty much everything in the Dark Elf force. So Dark Elves have some Dark Riders. What do they have on the periphery? Yeah, it looks like over here just some chaff. Hellebroni here just kind of chilling out. Malekith on that Soul Stealer. I mean, if this Helped heals, I honestly think Satsuma's going to win this. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. You can see here, 1,200. Leadership is 25. He was also able to ban Enticity off his best faction. And Malekith got Liber Bubonicist, it looked like. Malekith is going down, and I think these Skaven are going to win this. I can't believe it. It totally looked like the Dark Elves were going to overwhelm them. Like, when they sacrificed that position, I was like, ooh. But the Council Guard, plus the double Helped, plus the Guardian buff stacking on all these characters, man. I can't believe it. I mean, Dark Elves have some amazing tools to really punish these type of blobs. Like Soul Stealer, and obviously their missiles are pretty cost effective, but He didn't have enough missiles. I mean, 2 repeater crossbows is not going to be enough to kill 2 Hellpit Abominations. It almost was, I suppose, but yeah, there's no way. And it looks like Vicious Satsuma is going to be advancing on with a 2-0, but man, these games are really close and really tight. Well played to Enticity as well as Satsuma. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Malekith on Velociraptor, of course, isn't, you know, a world beater himself. I like the Circlet of Iron. It looked like it did some damage to Skrulk as he did summon. But yeah, it was so, like, the satellite station thing, how he had, like, 2, like, mini bases set up was kind of cool, actually, because it kept him from being alpha striked. I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't try that because it's a little bit ballsy for me, but, yeah, man. That was really good. And there you have it, my friends. Satsuma is going to be advancing on to the grand finals. So let's go ahead and go to the bracket. And he's going to be facing Talaxlon Soothsayer in a best-of-5 showdown. So guys, get your snacks. It is time for the glorious Clash of Titans. GG, guys. Satsuma, stay here. So Soothsayer, if you're watching, please join the same lobby. Close one indeed. So let's go ahead and find Soothsayer. And get this party started. Yes, indeed. All right, where's the Soothsayer? Where's the Slon? Slons aren't great at hiding. There he is. Perfect. And let me go ahead and tag him. So there's going to be 8 qualifiers in total. Enticity actually, I believe, qualified last season for the grand finals and also was pretty much like a contender every time he played. So I'm sure we'll see him back. Hey, Alpha Reborn. Hey, welcome to the channel, man. That was a good game. The banding was really good there, too. Enticity didn't pick his strongest faction first, and then his opponent, Satsuma, knew. And that's the thing. Like, playing in tournaments often and knowing what your opponents are like good at is a really big factor in competitive play because the pick and ban system, obviously, you're going to want to ban them out there, which is really smart, yeah. That was such a scheme. Yeah. So I will be right back. I just heard like the door slam over there. I'm just going to go make sure it was a wind. I'll be right back, guys. And we got a donation from Mr. Erlinson. You're the best turn. Thank you for everything you do. And I almost forgot. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate the gifts for my early birthday. It's like the Hobbits, like having like half lunches and, you know, like 8 meals a day, but just with birthdays. Yeah. No, we're good. It was actually just the wind. It like slammed one of our doors because there's like a couple open doors, so the draft built up. We have a donation from Damocles as well. Any idea if Chaos Dwarves are going to be in Warhammer 3? Kind of hyped for the lore of magic and lore of Hashut. So Damocles, I'd be willing to put substantial money on the fact that Chaos Dwarves will be in Game 3. Like, they're going to be in Game 3. They have to be. Like, they're a staple. So yeah, you can rest assured we're going to probably get some Chaos Dwarves. My house is haunted. It has like super creaky floors. I'll be super pissed if he gets turned. All right. Satsuma says, look at what Satsuma's saying. He's like, I need a second for my heart to slow down. Scheming Gabos and Skaven. I'm glad we're going to get some good greenskin play here. So let's switch back here. Update the scoreboards. This is going to be Soothsayer. And Satsuma can stay right where he is. They say that a hero can save us. Cool. All right. Picks and bans. Go, go. I can't remember Plane of Spiders. Yeah, I think Plane of Spiders is a good map. Oh, hello. Oh, it's like pulling... No, I don't want to do Schwarzhoffen. I want to do Plane of Spiders. We got Soothsayer in here. Should be quite a bit of fun against Vicious Satsuma. Make sure everything looks good here. Yeah, we're all set. Now we're just hanging out until they're good to go. Turin will go look at 40K, his 40K minis, only to find all their heads stacked on the table. Eric, you're in the finals now. Eric Pastucha. Yeah. I've heard actually about some bugs with Grom's campaign, like it's not like loading in some places and like some other things like that, or it like won't like register the next turn. I would definitely check the Total War forums. So Soothsayer is of course a son of Sigmar and a child of the Old Ones. Those are kind of his main factions I've seen him play. I mean, he's probably good at like everything though. So Soothsayer is going to play Empire banning Dwarves and Skaven. Oh man, please give us a crump. Please give us some crumping. Crump? I don't want to influence his choice. So where did Orion go? Message him. They say that a hero can save us. Okay, maybe Orion will come back. There he is. Okay. Cool. Hey, Kelleran, everything's good. Everything is good. I really enjoyed the campaigns. I like how quick Eltharian's campaign is. Like, I think that's the perfect fit. Because, like, I get so tanked on campaigns after, like, turn 100. I'm just like... Because you know the AI can't beat you generally. You're just like... And it's just like, just end me, bro. Just end it, you know? And you just got to grind for the victory. And I'm one of those people who likes to get the victory condition. So I'll just keep playing even if I'm kind of tanked on it. But Eltharians, I finished on, like, turn 70, I think. When I was playing in early access, I beat the final battle in, like, turn 40-something. And it was, like, perfect. It was just, like, fast. It was fluid. It was fun. It was objective-based. It was, like, really, really good. So we got the Beastmen. So Satsuma going on Beastmen versus Empire. Classic matchup. You guys want some Nickelback karaoke? Oh, hell yeah. Soothsayer saw the strat and banned Skaven. Skaven have some good tools against Empire. Jezzails are really good there. Yeah. Yeah, I know he had play clock catapults. He was a very wonky build. I don't know, Hollow Nerox. I have no idea what I would like to see in that respect. The stream's been going for about 2 hours, I would imagine. Vicious Satsuma. Look. So Satsuma's like, pick the Beastie Boys. And then Soothsayer's like, sounds good. And Satsuma says, well, what's worrying when you say it sounds good? Or that's worrying when it says it sounds good. Not sure there's a counterpick to Empire. Yeah. Empire is pretty well-rounded. They can compete with most factions. Maybe Skaven are pretty good against them. Yeah, I heard Emmerich's campaign's hard. But the thing is like, yeah, the campaigns are hard. But when you get to a certain point, they're just not. You know, like turn 90, 100, like it's usually just a steamroll at that point. Or like whack-a-mole, right? Chasing like shitty AI stacks down. Yeah. Well, that's why, you know, if you look at the YouTube videos, like when people put up the first like 2 or 3 episodes of a campaign, there's a lot of like people want to watch it. But when you put up like 4 through 36, it's like the views are just like, you know, they tank for a good reason. It gets boring to watch, you know, in my opinion. Yeah, Soothsayer is really, really good at Empire. Although in the last faction war, I think he actually lost. Was it to Beastmen? He might have lost to Flying Taco in the last faction wars with his Empire. Bring me to my men. I do play Empire in tabletop, actually. Well, I'm building an Empire army. Yeah, I'm trying. Now, guys, I actually, while we're hanging out here, I don't know what scheme to do for my Empire. I'm thinking about doing the quartered scheme, like the standard red and white. But part of me wants to do like a Midland type scheme using like some royal blue. I don't know. I'm so torn about how to paint my Empire faction. I have Karl Franz and Deathclaw. I could do Altdorf colors. Altdorf is half red, half blue, so the cloth is red on one side, blue on the other side. I honestly have no idea. I think I might do a poll on the channel. I was going to do like a Knights of War scheme for the whole army, but part of me is like, it's calling me to me like the old school stuff, you know? Yeah, Grimgor is pretty insane in campaign. Flying Taco it certainly is great at memeing, but he's also an insanely good player and has won several big events, you know? This is on large unit size. I think large, yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's the default one for quick battles. The thing is, if I do Midland, then I have Karl Franz there. I guess it doesn't matter. Like, the Emperor would ride to their aid. Yeah. Green and purple scheme, it'll look great. What? Doesn't seem like... Black and yellow? Empire demands Ulrich colors blue. Black and gold idea. So the thing is about the black and gold is that what I found is like the black really kind of fades out, like the black cloth. I think the Empire looks really good when it has like some more brighter colors. I don't know. I could have a detachment from Sterling, that's true. So what I'll probably do is paint up like 4 state troopers. I've already painted 1. So I worked, the scheme I tried for my first swordsman was he's checkered. So he has, what does he have? Silver armor with gold trim. And then he has black on one side and red on the other side with a purple feather cap. Any tips on getting on the tabletop? eBay is your friend. For fantasy tabletop, honestly, I would just wait until we get some more announcements for Old World. That's one of the reasons I'm not going like super balls deep into it. Because Old World, there's a chance it might, be like a different scale and might not use the same model. So I'm not like going too crazy on painting my Empire yet until I know. Yeah, thank you for all the feedback, guys. I'll be reading this chat later regarding the color scheme suggestions. I'll go ahead and do a poll on the channel, too. Part of me wants to do the Talabik land. Yeah, they're cool. Yellow and red. Anyways, and if you guys are enjoying the stream, do drop a like. And here we are in the grand finals. Oh, no way. Soothsayer, you're a bad, bad man. A little bit of lag here, unfortunately. Okay, looks like we're good. Yeah. Bit of lag. We will see. Min looks great, mixing some Thunderwolf Cav from 40k, alt demis, and mixed Marauders and State Troops. Yeah. I don't know. I like me my Franz. So, guys, Soothsayer coming in with double War Wagon, actually. I'll tell him to just wait to start. We'll wait till the lag subsides. I can't believe we're getting a frickin' War Wagon, double War Wagon from Sooth, but we can still go over the armies, so... Looks like some Pistoliers. Empire Knights are just like a solid armored cav unit, which is just durable, good against infantry, and even against like AP cav, they're still like a good roadblock. He's got 2 War Wagons. He's got some Pistoliers as well. Empire Knights with Warrior Priest support, a couple Spearmen in the back, and he does also have a Jade Wizard as well. So yeah, that's something. That's definitely something. Centaurs are throwing axes. He's got 2 of those for the Beastmen, which are a really good countermeasure against like heavy cav and also against wagons. Wagons do have a pretty high armor at 90, so yeah, Centaurs are throwing axes, certainly not bad. Got a couple Razor Gores. We have a Bray Shaman of Shadows on the far side, and it looks like it is going to be Morkor the Shadow Gave. So it's pretty classic Beastman army. Centaurs with throwing axes to counter heavy cav, Baconators as a support element, and it looks like he actually has a couple baseline Centaurs. They might be great weapons. Most likely. Alright, so we're going to see if that fixes the lag issue. Alright. Well, hopefully Orion can still cast from his, like he can watch my stream and like project it onto his stream and be able to cast, I hope. Yeah, it seems like the lag is resolved now. Okay. All good. So we have a Shadowcaster, Bray Shaman with Melkos, Enfeebling Foe, and Pendulum. Pretty classic stuff. Satsuma actually going with Gore Herds. The meta, more so for Beastmen historically, has been using Ungor Spearmen and stacking them with Razor Gores, but obviously times have changed, and, Ungors or Gore Herds with shields are pretty good against state troops, but I don't think Sooth is going to give him a head-up fight by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, I mean, so he's got 2 wagons, guys. Soothsayer's coming in with double War Wagon, like Pistoliers, Empire Knights. It's, the wagons did get a buff. They got a range buff, so they're up to 130 now, and they also got an AP missile damage buff, so certainly some teeth here in this situation. Yeah, and that's kind of the cool thing, right? Like, the wagons don't have to worry about being caught by, like, hounds and shit, like handgunners do. They can kite, they can shoot. Not as much DPS, but more longevity, I suppose. So Sooth actually had some grenade launchers here. So Pistoliers, and these ones were grenade launchers, and Pistoliers. And the grenade launchers definitely did a little bit of damage to the Destroyers of Drakwall. Took out 13 models. Yeah, Sooth has no reason to really engage. Just force the Beastmen to take the aggressive plays. Sooth does have some Spearmen. He's got, like, some State Troopers, but yeah, trying to, like, contest the infantry fight with Beastmen is very, very tough. And I think, having this kite play style and really forcing the Beastmen into like suboptimal engagements here is going to be way better. Man, look at the grenade launcher damage. Insanity. Going on the Destroyers of Drakwald. Wow. That was brutal. So the destroyers just took like 30 or 40% HP damage. Man, that was pretty wild for sure. And now Soothsayer is going to be coming in with his Empire Knights, lancing into the Warhounds with poison. Yeah, and just wrecking him. It seems like Sooth is getting the upper hand in like all of these engagements early. I don't know what those hounds were doing. A little bit of a misplay there, but it's okay, obviously. You know, when you're in the finals playing against Sooth, it's got to be stressful. I would be making misplays too, I'm sure. Yes. So those grenade launchers, man, buttering that sweet bread. Going to be continuing to do so as he continues to hunt down and pick apart some of the Beastmen assets. Now, all it takes is one screw up, though. I mean, if Soothsayer, you know, slips up, for example, you know, lets Karl Franz get caught in a bad situation, or you know, gets compromised in any way, shape, or form, it could be night-night for the Empire. So you got to be careful. Some throwing axes, able to pepper down Franz here. You can see he's at about 90%, so he took a little bit of damage. And Franz doesn't heal himself, like Boris Todbringer. Yeah, the destroyers are destroyed now. Very, very astute and accurate observation, my friend. Yeah, man, look at those grenade launchers just teeing off on the destroyers, and they're still steady, which is a testament to their leadership. And the Haggard War Wagons, I mean, who would have thought? And it's funny because, like, I don't think this is a meme from Sooth. I think he's thought this out and, like, actually, you know, is, like, all about this life. Over here, some of the Empire Spearmen are broken. No surprise there. Caught by Razorgors, flanked by Centaurs. You know, some of the State Troopers, unfortunately, do have to be sacrificed to Sigmar to allow the rest of the troops to kite and things like that. So the Destroyers of Drakewald are 100% broken, and we now have some Gore Herds engaging against the Spearmen, which will favor the Gore Herds, but Empire Knights are slamming in here, which is going to allow the Spearmen to win the fight, and it seems like the Empire is really, really taking apart the Beastmen core as their infantry are being picked apart. Now Franz is going in deep, baby! Franz does have Earthblood activated on him, going after Morker. A little bit dangerous, though, honestly. With all these Centaurs with throwing axes here, I mean, that could actually really punish Franz if they reacted quick enough, but nonetheless, you can see here some of the Empire Knights still hammering down. Franz takes a bunch of throwing axes, so it does take a little bit of damage. And now we have the shielded Centaur chasing down the Pistoliers, but Sooth is going to charge here with the Pistoliers, take some heavy damage, but then he's probably also going to get the Empire Knights for a back flank and just finish them off. So, and Pistoliers aren't terrible in melee combat as far as like skirmish cap goes. They're okay. War Wagon's still going strong as far as kills. 8 War Wagon kills here, 11 on those ones. Still just kind of poking away, putting some stress on the Beastmen Horde. Now the Beastmen are coming into the back with their Centaurs looking for more prey, but the Empire Heavy Cav, the Empire Knights, and the Pistoliers really seem to just be outclassing the Centaurs, who, and these are regular Centaurs, so they don't have good AP values, which is a big issue for them. Morker, the Shadowgave Company, able to break down here. The State Troopers are taking a bit of a hammering, which, you know, could be an issue for the Empire in the late game. All they have are Cav, and there's a ton of Centaurs with throwing axes and whatnot, but nonetheless, we'll see how it goes. So here we have the Bray Shaman of Shadows and Morker, the Shadowgave, on the hunt. Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma going down in the Empire Knights to slow them. But this is the thing, if this Shadowcaster overextends here, Franz is going to be able to just go balls deep and take him out. He's a large entity. Franz is wielding the mighty Warhammer Galmaraz, and could really, really do some good damage there. I don't think War Wagons are good per se. I think they have some niche applications, maybe against factions like this, but yeah, they're certainly a lot better. I mean, a range buff, a damage buff, how could they not be better? So over here, some of the Centaurs are chased off by the Empire Knights, Pistoliers, and also the mighty War Wagons of Sigmar. Now the War Wagons have switched their sights here onto the Centaurs with throwing axes. Franz going to be diving downtown, going after these Razorgors here, trying to probably get a tear route on them, but these ones are still pretty healthy. Morker's healthy as well. It's certainly still a close-ish game. Even though the Empire has gotten some really good engagements, I still think the Beastmen are in it. They have a lot of Centaurs, a ton of Gore Herds, and the grenade launchers are going to be so good against the Gore Herds. Like, once all the Beastmen mobility is finished, and that's pretty much what I think Sooth's kind of ultimate game plan is. Kill the Beastmen mobility and then pick apart whatever's left using your grenade launchers and wagons. Look at the wagons dropping some bows here, guys. Let's get some close-up shots here of these glorious wagons. Look at these brave sons of Sigmar. Kiting back. And yeah, these are Centaurs with throwing axes, but their melee prowess won't be great against 90 armor, so the wagons will actually last some time here. But this is still a big pick here. If the Beastmen can catch these wagons and at least take them out, yeah, I don't think so. Not with the Pistoliers nearby and the Empire Knights collapsing in. Reikland Runefang's going to be coming as well. And this just goes to show, don't give the Beastmen that blob fight, you know. Force them to chase you a little bit. Very, very solid indeed. Satsuma does love a comeback, and this is only game 1 in this best of 5 series, and it's still a very, very close game. You have to remember, Morker is still quite a meat house here. And the Centaurs are throwing axes. I wonder if they're still throwing. It seems like their ammunition has been turned off for now, but Centaurs, oh no, this could be a big misplay. Satsuma needs to get out of here. These Centaurs are going to get wrecked by the Empire Knights, the Warrior Priest, and Franz coming in. Ah, man, that's so much damage. And you can see the bounce of power actually starts to ebb in the favor of the Empire a little bit with this happening here. Yeah, that's not good. Because that was like the backbone of the Beastmen army was the throwing axe support, but sending them into melee against like a Warrior Priest and Sigmar Incarnate himself, Karl Franz, with the war wagons, of course, tanking. Pretty rough stuff for sure. Pigs are getting into combat. They're pushing in. Might be able to wreck some of these Empire Knights. We still have some Gore Herds. The Brave Shaman of Shadows is still alive, but probably not for too long, as the Pistoliers and Franz, I think, have set their sights here. Melkoss going down to the Empire Knights. And now Soothsayer is going to be coming over with Franz Daddy. And probably just beating the brakes off this Brave Shaman. And I think that will be the beginning of the end for the Beastmen. Actually interesting seeing a build for the Beastmen, which isn't really dependent on summoning, actually. I was expecting Manticore summons, different things like that, but no, we didn't use them. So the Brave Shaman of Shadows is broken, wavered, terror routed temporarily. Will come back in a moment, but probably will be naturally broken. The Beastmen making their last stand here with a spawn summon does buy them a little bit of time. But the Warrior Priest with all these buffs, making these Empire Knights into linebackers, is not going to be great here for the guys. Yeah, not going to be good indeed. So there you have it, guys. Spawner running out. Sigmar prevails. The mighty war wagons running over the hooved creatures and protecting the realm. Yeah, the throwing axes was the big mistake. I think Satsuma was still in that game until that. When he made that mistake, not necessarily a mistake per se, but it didn't work out well. That was, yeah. That is that. All right, so let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. Soothsayer with a glorious wagon victory. So let's make sure we got it on the right side. We do, and boom. There we go. So game 2 now. So let's go ahead and put him on Prague. So Satsuma now going to his best faction, the Greenskins. So this is pretty important here. He needs to get this win. And Soothsayer is probably going to go Lizards, but I would imagine Satsuma will ban Lizardmen. It's still a hard matchup for Greenskins, still more doable now, but I would probably ban Greenskins, or not Greenskins, Lizardmen, and I don't know who else I would ban. Lizardmen would for sure be up there. Probably Vampire counts too. But I don't know. Sooth does play vampires, actually. So, something to consider. Andrew Cohen, oh no. Chris Vickers, thanks for the feedback regarding Midland, man. Really do appreciate that. He did have Miasma. He had Pendulum, and he had Enfeebling Foe, which is, if you're going Lore of Shadows, it's pretty much like the standard run-of-the-mill. Like, that's the stuff you bring. The Centaurs were intimidated by the wagons. I think so. Seeing a mighty contraption of Sigmar riding over you. It was really well played. Hey, you guys hear Richie in chat? Richie says, if we get to 1,000 likes, he'll pay $100. Come on, guys. Do it for your boy Turin here. Will we see an idol? It depends. Okay, so he bans Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts. Both are good bans. And he's going to go Greenskins. I think Sooth is going to pick Lizards. I think Lizards still are really good against Greenskins. Croxagores, Skinks and Saurus, Salamanders to roast the trolls and big threats. Durable lords who don't care about being rampaged. And what's really funny is I'm pretty sure Lizardmen can get rid of the rampage using Cold Blood. So they just like, okay, we don't care about you, Skarsnik. He better bring Dabigan. Yeah, it depends on what Sooth brings. The Biggin is a little bit of a risky gambit, in my opinion. All right, so the stream's been going, oh, wow, only an hour and a half. We might have to play some games after this. Silence, Pwn. Start a while on that like button. Man, need some Chinese. Dude, I love Chinese food, bro. Chinese food is one of my favorite things. Just dirty, fast Chinese food. Oh, man. It's so good. That Mexican food, like burritos. Oh, it's so good. the mean Dean. Yep, he's going Lizards. I knew it. I'm really interested to see this matchup, actually. See how the players play this. It's going to be really interesting. Going to be very interesting indeed. Yeah, Dabigan isn't so good. I agree with you, Beeclaw. It's janky. I think I was able to win a couple games with it in pre-release, but it was like, you know, the opponent was memeing a little bit too. I think in a tournament setting, like against top tier players, Dabigan is not going to work very well consistently. Maybe you could catch someone with it. So here, I mean, Greenskins have some new tools. I mean, you could use Stone Trolls, actually. I mean, Magic Resist, Missile Resist against Skink Skirmishing, against Salamanders. I don't know. Ruben Bunskoke, time to pay the troll toll, boys. Smash that button. Thank you so much, Ruben. Appreciate your support as always, brother. Yeah. Samuel Glaze. Yeah. Tlaxlan Soothsayer is here. The mighty Slon Lord himself. This is cool. We got 2 players playing some of their main factions against each other. That's always my favorite. You know, when you have someone who's like a specialist. It's getting in there. Like watching 2 MMA fighters who are like striking specialists or jiu-jitsu specialists go at it. Krokar, Hand of the Gods. So what would I do here? What would I do against Soothsayer's Lizards? I don't know, man. I would probably bring like a couple Black Orcs. I don't know, maybe like 2 Black Orcs, like some 1 fanatic, like 1 or 2 fanatics, some Goblin support. I would probably bring like 4 Orc Airboys, a Doomdiver Catapult to force them in and counterplay Salamanders. Grimgor might not be bad for like slows. Grimgor plus like a Death Hag for double slow because you have the You're Next. Plus you also have the Mither, so you could like slow them down super hard. Since Rampage won't work so well against Lizards. Yeah. I don't know. Turin, which player is secretly Henry Cavill? I don't know. It's pretty trippy. I wonder, you know, it'd be really interesting to if Henry Cavill actually like watched these streams and stuff. Campaign or multiplayer, that would be really interesting to find out. To be honest though, like I completely understand the anonymous kind of wanting to stay anonymous in a community. From where he's coming from. Who knows? That would be really that'd be pretty cool though. Plays 40k too, which is pretty badass. Got a character named after him in the High Elf campaign, the mighty Cavill. The Dread Saurian. Yeah, the Dread Saurian could probably against the Spider. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess if there is a wild place we're going to see a Rogue Idol, maybe here. I don't know. I wouldn't though. The Rogue Idol. I mean, Lizards. Yeah. Skarsnik does have anti-large, but he also gets squashed really bad by Stegodons. And his Rampage mechanic isn't that useful against the Lizards if they're really quick on their Cold Bloods. So, I don't know. I probably wouldn't use Skarsnik here. Azag isn't bad also. He has really good buffs for the combat and also does have good AP himself and good sniping potential against Dinos. With Spirit Leech and good AP. Poison. He has poison, right? I can't remember. I think he does. Grimgor could be interesting here, actually. So, Labad says, Turin, in regards to the re-release of Warhammer Fantasy, would you prefer the rules to remain more dense and in-depth? I would probably lighten them a little bit more. I understand that the 7th, 8th, 6th edition fantasy rules were super dense, and that was one of the reasons why the barrier to entry was really tough. Age of Sigmar is like super simplistic, and I think there's some strengths to that, because I'd rather the game be a little bit simpler than it once was, with the cool characters and heroes and aesthetics, and there's a big amount of people playing. Like, I want to go to events and tournaments. I don't want it to be so difficult to get into that there's like just nobody playing, right? Like, I'd rather it be simplified a little bit. Maybe not as simple as Age of Sigmar, like add in some other stuff, but just simplify it down from where it was. Frederick Anderson, wag indeed, brother. Saranska, Sisters of Avalorn aren't broken. They're a big investment, and you got to protect them. Yeah. That's just my opinion, though. You think Skarsnik is the play? Well, we'll see. I mean, Skarsnik certainly isn't bad here, because he can give anti-large to nearby troops, too. So you could give, like, your Black Orcs anti-large, which could be kind of neat, but on paper it sounds good, but it's so hard to deal with the friggin' Stegodons. Yeah. Richie going balls deep here. He says, okay, my friends, 1,000 likes and I'll pay $200. Oh, man. Thank you for your support, man. I don't deserve it. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want it to be exactly Age of Sigmar, but there's many simplifications that Age of Sigmar made that I think are good. I personally cannot stand the lore in Age of Sigmar. It's just I don't know why. It just triggers me. I just can't. I can't do it. Aaron Larmore, thank you so much for the 50 Canadian buckaroos. He says, y'all talking about Mexican and Chinese food, and I'm here waiting for the Bretonian beans video. Oh, dude. Okay, maybe, Aaron, maybe in your honor, I'll do the Bretonian beans video, and I'll have a mullet. When I get my mullet, maybe I'll do that. I think that would be a truly magical video. Yeah, so Mr. Erlinson, there's a lot of content creators and a couple players who are hidden as Easter eggs in the campaign. For example, a lot of content creators who were around when Warhammer 2 came out are named after rogue armies. I have one which is like Nicolandor of the Scalarial or something. It's like the Wood Elf one that has like treemen and like all sorts of crazy dinosaurs in the south. Indie Pride has one. Yeah. So thank you again, Aaron. I really appreciate that. The Bretonnian Beans video will come someday. I love Bretonnian Beans. It's so good. Yeah, I can't. The thing is like, I played some Age of Sigmar games on Tabletop Simulator, and I enjoyed it, like, enough. But, like, when I know, coming from a Total War Warhammer background and, like, loving those characters in that setting, it just kind of, like, I can't look at them without remembering what once was, right? So, yeah. All right, guys. And now we're back in business. Let's go ahead and take a look. For the Lizards and Talaxalon Soothsayer, currently up a game. So Saurus, Red-Crested Skinks, pretty much expected there. Kroxigor Smash is super good as well. They're really good at beating down pretty much all the Greenskin infantry, including Biggins if they have support. One Bastillodon for the Terror route. He does have the Palhawks of Sentinels up in the sky. Saurus Old Blood as well. So he does have a countermeasure against Giants and different tools like that. Coldwind Riders, and on the other side, Coldwind Riders. So my one concern with this build, as I look at it, is I don't think it has a lot to kill the Giants aside from the Saurus Old Blood. In the build I've been using against Greenskins, I've actually been using double Salamanders to counter the Giants, but let's go ahead and look. So yeah, we got a double Giant build. We have Skarsnik, Goblin Big Boss, and Shaman. The front line's going to be Orc Boys into the Sunset, with a Snotling Pump Wagon making its first appearance today, first or second at least. So these boys ready to pump on the face of some Saurus. We got some Pigs, Savage Orc Boar Boys, we got some Squig Hoppers, Spider Riders, looking like a nice army. The double Giant here, I'm loving it. Certainly going to be very tough for the Lizards to deal with. Yeah. And it is time. It is time, my friends. Battle is underway. The fate of the finals almost at stake. Currently, Talaxalon Soothsayer is up 1-0 here in this best-of-5 final. And here you can see Vicious Satsuma marching in with the double Giant build. If I had to look at both builds, I would say that I would probably favor the Greenskin build. But again, it comes down to execution, timing, getting your units in the right place, which is actually very important with Giants. As a matter of fact, having a very wide army like this, I would probably pull myself a little bit tighter to make it so the Giants don't have to run so far to get into the fights. Bug-Eyed Creep, hey Turin, unable to watch at the moment, but keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Really do appreciate that. You guys are aces. Wesley Chartron says, Lizards represent. Thanks for the live stream. You're welcome, man. And the Lizards certainly are being represented very well here today. So the Orc Boys preparing to absorb the charge here of the Saurus. The Pump Wagons are actually pretty good in sustained combat. You can actually leave them on top of Saurus or Skinks. There also are, some Squig Hoppers and other troops that really can hammer down these Saurus. But again, Sooth does have some defense. He's got Coldwind Rider, so he's not going to be completely helpless as it pertains to mass. And now we have the frontline fighting. Now, there is no Daka here in this Greenskin army, so no real hard stopping power against the Kroxigors. And the Orc Boys here are getting wrecked pretty hard, and he's sending in the Snarling Pump Wagons here, which is a little bit dicey for sure, but you can see Spider to Bad Moon is active, and suddenly the Pump Wagons are rocking bonus first large, so I suppose in their dream world they will be okay against the Kroxigors. But the Giant's in there, Skarsnik lurking behind. The Giant here is crumping some of the Orc Boys, and now the Greenskin Walk coming from the high ground here. So really, they should be collapsing on all these units. Curse of the Bad Moon going down, which unfortunately was a huge swing and a miss, didn't really seem to do much. And Soothsayer seems to be really crumping the Orc Boy lines, and that's the whole thing. I think going a little bit tighter with the build would have been much better for Satsuma. I think his build is very capable of winning based on what I see. But currently, he's allowing Sooth to pick apart the weak sides of the formation, which certainly is making him pay the troll toll. Nonetheless, Saurus are getting worked down here. Some of the Orc Boys with a little bit of heroic support are doing well. We have the Kroxigors being hunted down by the Giants. And Skarsnik and his little Night Goblins, of course, are doing a good job wearing down the Skinks. Oh man, look at that rock drop from the Palhawks as Sentinels! Soothsayer just putting on a clinic there, really bombarding those guys. That took them down from like 80-90% to almost nothing. Man, that was nasty. Now we have some more Orc Boys coming around the flank. Stars are finally starting to get worn down. The two Giants are going to be a huge issue to deal with for sure. Like I said, but good cycle charging from the Saurus Old Blood. Might be able to polish them off, but yeah, you can see the Kroxigors here. Finally starting to get beaten down by the Giants a little bit. And the Greenskins are pulling back. Savage Orc Boar Boys being chased down by Skink Skirmishers and Saurus, and also some Coldwind Cav. Spider Riders back here. Ooh, this is a really, really good play for Satsuma. Getting the Spider Riders to surround the Skink Priest, but a Manticore Summon might be able to save him here. And it looks like Sooth is pulling ahead in the game. I don't think there's going to be, I don't know, yeah. There's still so many Greenskins, but it's just tricky, right? So much of the Greenskin army, like the Orc Boys, have just been charged and pulled apart. All the mobility for the Greenskins is more or less gone as well. the Mighty Bastillodon chasing off some of those poor Gobos there. In the back, Satsuma still does have Goblin Spider Rider archers who could come back in and definitely should. It looks like a little bit of a lapse in micro there. They definitely want to wrap up that Skink Priest and start putting some deeps on him. But this is where the Greenskins could potentially shine in a blob fight like this with the 2 Giants and a Goblin Big Boss and a little bit of magic support. The Wa is now active as well, so the entire Greenskin army is immune to Psychology right now, which is incredibly solid. The Giants are now in combat. Looks like Spider to Bad Moon's going down as well. No, that's going to be a Wa, actually. Not a Wa, but a Flock of Doom. Flock of Doom would be quite good in this situation. Giants need to start clubbing. They need to start dropping the base on these Croxagores. Croxagores are still somewhat functional. 9, 6, 12 models, respectively. But yeah, Soothsayer's going to be able to get this around. Oh, the Curse of the Bad Moon going down on the Croxagores, but I don't think it does much against them. It looks really cool. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the Curse of the Bad Moon stuff. So now the Giants do have anti-large, I believe, or at least they had it for a moment from the Curse of the Bad Moon, but it has worn off. Squig Hoppers collapsing into the back. Manticore Summon is also active, so the Manticore Summon is giving a bit of a false inflation to the bounce power for the Lizards. You also have to remember that some of the Greenskin units are coming back. It looks like we have some Squig Hoppers here and a couple Orc Boys rallying their way back in, and the Pump Wagons in glorious combat here with the Golden Riders, which is quite hilarious. One Giant's getting danger low, for sure, but here we have the Saurus Old Blood. He's a little bit trapped up, actually. Looks like the Goblin Big Boss has said he needs stabbing. There's a Giant trying to make his way through, but the damn Croxagores keep getting in the way. The Croxagore Smash certainly quite potent here. It's actually a really close battle, and like I said, I think Satsuma's build was very, very good based on the situation, but Sooth may be able to still pull it out just with his tenacity here. But yeah, Croxagores are getting worn down, and that's the thing, like, I don't know if he has enough to kill the Giants. Like, nothing in Sooth's build aside from the Old Blood and maybe some Skinks are good against Giants. Croxagores are terrible against Giants. Skink Infantry are going to be pretty subpar there as well. And it looks like Satsuma in the double Giant beatdown might be able to claw his way back into this game. Really pulling together very tight here in the 4th quarter. And yeah, Curse has a big debuff effect. And no, yeah, that's right. The debuff, and there's no friendly fire anymore. Okay, that makes sense. I keep forgetting about that. Because I'm like, oh, it's not going to do great damage here. But again, the friendly fire is gone now, so it's not going to afflict your own units. Yes. Thank you guys for pointing that out. So here we do have the Orc Boys being charged down here by the Cold One Riders. Soothsayer doing his best to make sure that stuff doesn't come back. Using his Manticore Summon to try and stay in this game. It does pull the bounce power back a little bit. And now the big Dino's rampaged. Oh, the Fermented Fungi is active. Is there a Cold Blood available? Yes, there is. So look at that. You can see the Greenskins or Lizardmen can basically just say, screw your rampage. I don't give a shit. I'm cold-blooded. And he's able to get away. Very, very brutal stuff. Skarsnik, though, is still, you know, an anti-large character that needs to be dealt with. One Giant here is going to be battling the Manticore. And the Manticore Summon will dissipate. We got some Spider Riders who are back in business here. Yeah, the double Giant's going to be tough with Skarsnik. And the Goblin Big Boss is still here as well. He's beat up, but at the very least, he still has the very, very juicy they need stabbing buff. But oh, it looks like the Manticore's taking him out. Oh man, and the Goblin Big Boss gets taken out by the Manticore Summon. The Manticore Summons are the nightmares of all Greenskin players. Yeah. Sotek says there's still friendly fires, it just doesn't apply the debuff. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. We got it. So here we do have the Giant. Sneaky Stabbing in spite of the Bad Moon has been activated. It looks like another Bad Moon's coming down. I see a Bad Moon on the rising. And the debuff is actually speed, armor, and melee defense. Dynasty Curse. Wow. Totally forgot about that. It was such an overlooked spell, at least for me. You guys seem to know about it. So here the Giants get back here is activated. Skarsnik's moving in, and it seems like Soothsayer is very much on the run right now. Basically just trying to pick off what he can before engaging to the final fight. But it looks like Satsuma is not going to go quietly into this good night. Do you like the Rick James? Yeah, Rick James is a lot of people from my generation know about Rick James from the Dave Chappelle skit. That's like where we all learned about it. I mean, otherwise, right? Like we would be too young to be familiar with his songs. Because I'm a super freak. Anyways, here, Forest Goblin Spider Riders chasing down those dudes over there on the far side. Giants are still in good health, more or less. I mean, this one still has 1,500 HP. And Sooth is eventually going to have to come fight this. But you know what Sooth is going to do? He's going to chase down like all the scraps he can across the battlefield before committing to the final fight. Which is fine. You know, it's fair play. Might as well, you know, use your mobility and isolate what you can. But it looks like, yeah, the Greenskins might be able to get their Spider Riders here and pick these guys. Yeah, like get those Croxagores and those Skinks. For sure, a good play. Maybe a little bit of magic support as well, because that's 5 Croxies. That's no joke. And the Source Old Blood does have some Cold One support, but as long as Satsuma doesn't screw this up and split up, he should be okay. I mean, Skarsnik plus 2 Giants. Even Skarsnik and 1 Giant would be really, really tough to deal with here. So Spider Riders on the hunt, going after some Saurus here. There are 18 of those bad boys. I don't know if he's going to be able to break them. Let's see. So he does get on the Saurus and doesn't kill any of them. Spider Riders, of course, don't have the craziest damage output. I know, Rick James. Super Freak, I guess, is the one that pretty much everyone knows. Oh, man. It's so good. Rick James is just such a meme. The Dave Chappelle Rick James skits, I think, are like one of my favorite comedy pieces of all times. That and the Prince one. The Prince one is so good too. So a rampage attempt going down on the Old Blood, but remember the rampage isn't guaranteed. A lot of people think it's like, oh, just can rampage anything, but no, they have to be at certain thresholds, and you can only rampage them once per threshold. So what that means is you get them below 80%, and then you can rampage them, but you cannot rampage them while they're between the bracket of I think it's like 40 and 80% or 50 and 80%. I don't quite know off the top of my head. Nonetheless, though, Sooth's doing a good job, and Satsuma's got to be careful not to overextend here. It looks like he's chasing down some of the Orc Boys here. Yeah, these Orc Boys are being hunted. The Bastillodon's coming back in, and it looks like Fermented Fungi is still active. Spider Riders are going to be collapsing in, which is very good. It's going to apply poison. Skarsnik's a little bit out of position, but the Giants are here. So it looks like a Flock of Doom activated. The Giant here does take a bit of a blow, but Spider to Bad Moon is active, which means the Giants now have... These Giants, 863 weapon strength with bonus versus large. Get out of here, Saurus Old Blood. That is so much damage. Hot damn. Skarsnik's coming in. We have little goblins, some Orc Boys, Spider Riders coming back in. And boys, we got a good old proper scrap. This Giant is sitting happy on leadership despite being at like 10%. And I don't think the Lizards are going to be able to win this. It looks like Satsuma might get on the board here. Yeah. This is pretty wild. Although the Lizards are quite tenacious. Skarsnik's here, but no, there's no way. Because the Giants aren't going to get terror routed. Although if he can break one of them, this Giant's at 682 HP. Negative 463. Oh man, this Giant's just barely holding on. But Skarsnik able to prod down many of his foes here. The Bastillodon's in combat, but yeah, that Bastillodon. I mean, even if this Giant goes, it's not going to be enough. Squighoppers charging into Croc scores here. What are the players saying? Good luck, have fun. So it's from earlier. I was going to see if there was an early GG being called. That's a lot of meat on this Giant, though. The Bastillodon getting beat up. The Old Blood's coming in. Giants do turn around really slow, so you can oftentimes rear charge him in the back, but it looks like he's going to get a blow on the Old Blood. And he does. Square contact right there. Skarsnik's coming in with his Prodder as well. And, yeah, negative 21 leadership. He's breaking. Skarsnik with the anti-large. And the Greenskins pull out a victory in a matchup which historically I think was very hard for them. Man, Satsuma looked like he was on the ropes earlier, but he clawed his way back to that game. Tooth and nails. Brutal stuff. Giants are redeemed. That was awesome. Yeah, Roof 85. I remember that. I probably shouldn't say that on stream, though. All right. Man, what a scrap that was. So Satsuma is on the board, 1-1 here with Soothsayer in the grand finals of today's first Season 5 qualifier. The schemes are here, and we got a series. So now let's go ahead and switch the map. And what do we want to do? Put him on Skilled. That'd be quite the meme. Stir River. Man, that was a good map back in the day. Could do the Swamp of Terror. I'll do Sword of Torgald. Actually, somebody told me Sword of Torgald was crashing for them earlier, so I'm going to skip that one for now. Control both of them. Put them on the Oak of Ages. Let's do Tower of Hoth. That's like such a good multiplayer map. Skarsnik with his shank, I know. Giants with the maxed out charisma, tell me about it. And now, let's see what they pick. This is 5. We got a series, my friends. That was such a good game, too. Satsuma, not going to be going quietly into the night, but neither is Soothsayer. I'm sure both players have cunning schemes. The Swamp of Terror is okay, but there's actually a natural blocking piece in one deployment zone that makes it kind of unfair. So now Soothsayer's like, all right, you're going to crump me, I'm going to crump you right back. So he goes Greenskins, bans Vampire Counts, and Vampire Coast. How is Satsuma going to play against his own people here? My lovely wife is here as well. He stabbed him good. I know, Skarsnik, he did it for my lovely wife. Yes. That was a really good game. I know, I'll recast it. Hopefully that some of these guys are saving the replays. I'll mention it to him. I'm curious what Satsuma's going to pick here. I mean, I wouldn't pick High Elves unless you're like an Elf specialist. We've seen Zyphos and other High Elf players. I think I saw one of Loopy earlier beating Greenskins and really good competitive Greenskin players with High Elves. But unless you're like a specialist, I probably wouldn't pick High Elves into this. Dark Elves, maybe. I think Satsuma likes to play like aggressive factions, though. He's already used Beastmen and Greenskins, so we're going to dig even further into his repertoire. Maybe Norsca? I don't know what his other factions are. Yeah. We will see. We will see indeed, my friends. You can't hit the like button any further? Well, you've done your duty. Thank you so much, guys. Chris Vickers, oh my god. The Giants are redeemed, JR. Yeah, and the Giants are pretty cool. I mean, that's why I love having some Salamanders in that matchup, because they just wreck Giants with their anti-large fire attacks, and Giants have poor armor, so they take a lot from that. But yeah. Which matchup is bad for Greenskins? In my opinion, I feel like Greenskins have a tough matchup versus Vampire Counts. Satsuma's going Lizards. Okay, the table is turned. The table is turned. So Satsuma's going Lizards this time. And people consider the Lizardmen matchup to be hard. Now, what I would probably do, Sars front line, Kroxigor support, 2 Salamanders, some Coldwind Riders for defense. Bam, you're good. Like, that deals with most Greenskin builds in my experience. Because Kroxigors plus Sars win the frontline fight. If they bring Trolls or Giants, Salamanders roast them. It's like very consistent. So Sooth is asking him if he's playing Lizards. Yeah, we'll see. What's the issue with the big one in competitive play? It's very expensive. The big one is like 2,800 gold, and it's not that much better than a regular Rogue Idol in combat, and its Cygor Boulder effect isn't like that good. So it's kind of just like overpriced in my opinion. It's kind of like how the Shredder of Lustray is. It's in the same department. If you're talking about multiplayer. 700 likes needed. Need 1,000 for just Swamp Things. Oh, I love the Swamp Things. They're so haggard and awesome. The tables have turned. Yeah. Hey, we got Mr. Pig in here too. Hope you're doing well, Jason. What if they both came out with the same builds? That would be interesting, but I really don't think they're going to. I think they have very distinct playstyles, so I think we would probably see something different. Tower of Hoeth is a map that generally will have an open field fight unless you're seeing some Wood Elf games and they kind of want to camp in the trees. But yeah, it's a good map. I think Tower of Hoeth is a beautiful map and also one of the best maps out there for multiplayer. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We did see a Basilodon actually last game, Red Spotted Drake. We saw one used, Soothsayer brought a single Basilodon. I think Stegodons are really, really good in this matchup too. The ones with the Howdas on the back can be quite nasty. Maybe bringing like Mazda Mundi on Zlok could be really, really strong. Because he pretty much would like wreck Skarsnik like horribly, and in a straight up fight, of course. But Skarsnik is ever the schemer. He's not going to give a straight fight. He's gonna poke and prod and ambush. Yeah. I remember Falcon using the Dread Saurian to good effect. Yeah, it can be used to okay effect, but the problem is, the thing with the Dread Saurian is the Dread Saurian is quick. It's fast. It can hit and move after it got its mass fixed. But the Biggin is really slow and rooted, so it's not like a playmaking unit. It's more of a progressive value unit that you get value over the course of the battle. So it's a different category in that respect. So Slanesh bots have disappeared because basically YouTube found a way around to get rid of them by making it so you can't like click on their YouTube profiles. Yeah, so they don't even bother anymore because it's not worth it for them. I don't think the Slanesh bots will come. Just every hot Wookiee for 5 miles. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think Soothsayer will take Skarsnik. Although Skarsnik panned out really, really well with the double Giants, because that was a pretty gangster actually. Giving the Giants anti-large at the end was super gangster. That was really awesome. I would probably opt for someone else though as well. Maybe Azag or Grimgor is just, he's still a foot character that doesn't have anti-large. I don't know. Grimgor could be cool. Like he's good crowd clearing with his little AoE explosion. Plus he has a slow. So you know what? I think Soothsayer will probably go like with a slow Lord, either Azag or Grimgor with a Hag and a Goblin Big Boss. Like Mither is really good. I think Sooth is going to bank on that. Yeah. Misha and my lovely wife took out all the Slanesh bots. Fair play. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Biggin artillery box with rock clobbers? Nah, the Biggins don't hold as well as you think against lizards. They just kind of get run over in my experience. I mean, they're still okay, but like they don't have good AP. So against Kroxigors and Stegodons, Biggins will have trouble. I think you got to use either docket lines or, you know, giants or spiders. That's like how you deal with the big lizards. You don't use biggins. I mean, biggins are okay, but I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. Grimgore in a full Black Orc army, that would be pretty heavy metal. That would certainly catch me off guard. Soothsayer did win his first game here in this best of 5 using war wagons, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you know, we could see the Spider Shaman from Sooth, actually. Yeah, the Goblin Great Shaman on the Catchweb Shrine. That would be pretty cool. The Spider Shaman, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Skarsnik's really good, I agree, and I'm glad he's good. He was terrible for so long. It's a pleasure to see Skarsnik actually being impactful, and you have to like worry about him. Otherwise, like, you need to give Footlords like really good abilities, like your Next or Rampage. Otherwise, they're just like trash and they just get kited, in my opinion. So I think it's great. Could you conceivably have an all-boy build, no Gobos? Yeah, for sure. You could use like a bunch of like Orc Boys and maybe a couple Black Orcs to deal with Saurus, and then like just spam Orc Air Boys, and you could probably function fine. You don't have to use Goblins, but Fanatics are quite good, so yeah. Some delicious water we got here, guys. We should have an official Remembrance Day for the Slanesh bots. No, please don't. Please don't do that. Yeah, Biggins, yeah, that's a good assessment from Cybvep. I don't think Biggins are like, they're kind of like a hybrid unit of sorts. Anti-large definitely helps. Like, they're quite good against like Morgul type units, like Monsters Infantry with light armor. That's, I think, where Biggins really shine. And they also have high DPS against like Chaff. All right, so I'm really curious to see the build difference. So if we take a look here, yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. We have Zlok, exactly what we were predicting here. He's got Lord Mazdamundi on Zlok. He's got Salamanders to deal with the big threats and giants. Like, this is where it's at. Croxagores, Coldwind Riders, a little bit of Chameleon support, front line of Saurus, Zlok, and a Scarvet. So he's got a Scarvet for anti-large plus Salamanders for anti-large. So he's definitely pretty well equipped to deal with giants and spiders and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty awesome. And now if we take a look at the forces of the Greenskins, let's go ahead and peer into the future. Savage Orc Biggins here, so he's going for the Savage Orc Biggins, maybe just to deal with Saurus and also have some anti-large utility. He's got some Fanatics in the front, looks like, so he does have Fanatics and Standard Goblins, or a Fanatic and Standard Goblins. He's got a Docket Line, he's got Orc Pigs, he's got a Goblin Wolf Chariot, and he does also have the Arachnoid Queen with Wurzak. Oh, going with the Hogmaster. The Wild Hogs assemble. Best movie. Wild Hogs is the best movie ever made. He's got Wurzog on his pig here. And it is time. Oh yeah, ECL's back. It's back in business. Yeah, Brian Cheney, we had a couple Beastmen games. I think we had two on stream, but as far as the tournament goes, there was actually quite a few. So yeah, it's a good build. I mean, no Skarsnik, using Wurzag and a Spider instead of Giants, and then using more Daka instead of using, the Giants for the beatdown. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the build. Both players, I think, have a good chance to win. Zlok is going to be very scary to deal with, though, for sure. He's a big, meaty boy, and he also heals himself. So yeah, certainly a good build by Satsuma. Good one by Sooth. Very different playstyle. Wurzag, of course, has a hard snare, so he's going to be able to get that at any time. It's not conditional upon a rampage mechanic. Wurzag's a little bit easier to snipe than Skarsnik, so if he gets caught in a net and then bullied down by, big old Mazdamundi here, it could be quite dangerous for him. So good luck, have fun. Satsuma says the bounce of power likes me. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Yeah, Wurzog doesn't dance on his pig. It'd be pretty cool if he did. Like, he kind of worked with the shoulders and arms a little bit. We had a Beastmen fight Empire, and then in our first series, I believe we had a Beastmen game as well. And here we go. Yes, we did just have Lizardmen versus Greenskins, but the players in their next match ended up in the same matchup, but just the roles were reversed. So Salamander Hunting Pack has good burst damage too, honestly. You could use the Salamanders to shoot against the AP Galoonies. I might actually unleash a couple volleys. Granted, saving the ammo for the Spider also has some merit to it. We have the Goblin Wolf Chariots from Soothsayer, which is pretty hilarious. Opting not to use Pump Wagons. I guess maybe thinking the Chariots with their Missile Harass could be a little bit more useful than the pumps. Little pump up in here. So Lord Mazdamundi, probably going to go run over some Goblins, and clearly these Fanatics are looking for blood. Salamanders do good explosion damage against light armor. It wasn't like the most square hit, but it seemed like it wasn't bad. Yeah, Sooth's about to launch some Fanatics. That's why he's sending them in. But this is actually really good here by Satsuma. He's pulling back the Fanatics, or not Fanatics, but his Saurus, sending in some Croxagors to smash them down to try and mitigate the effectiveness of the Fanatic Bombs, but we'll see. Probably going to unleash them over here anyways. We'll find out in a second. So the Arachnoid Queen getting ready to party as well. Croxagors, though, being taken out by the Daka line, so they're probably going to want to be pulled back. And now we have the Saurus, who should be engaging against Biggins here in just a moment. Biggins actually are really hard hitting. Not when they're poisoned, of course, but yeah, this is also a huge buff to Lizardmen as well. There's no more friendly fire with poison, so that's really, really big for them. So here we have a banishment going down to the back from Mazda Money. Does rip through some of the Rusty Arrows, but didn't get the best contact. We also have a Ruination of Cities as well. So really, really just going quite heavy and trying to take out the Rusty Arrows. Salamanders in the meantime shooting the Spider, but it looks like Soothsayer is going to be coming around for a big old flank here. He's got some Orc Warboys, a bunch of troops coming in, and also some Goblins from the back, but the Golden Riders should be able to peel them off. But, you know, dealing with Zlok is going to be really tricky. Zlok is a meaty, meaty dude, and you can see the Orc Boys are just getting pushed down here. And now, like, the Greenskin back line is certainly a little bit free. Saurus are going to be able to push in, but Effigy of the Gate going down. Effigy used actually on the Saurus Scar Veteran. Very good decision-making by Soothsayer. He's basically trying to take out the anti-large to make sure that the Spider is going to have a little bit more free range. But yeah, the Orc Daka lines have been good for quite some time, but Foe Seeker's active. He took about 40% HP damage, but he's able to get away from the big boss, and yeah, he should be fine with Apotheosis and a little bit of support. So in the back, Salamanders are still firing quite happily. A nice little defensive concave here for the Lizards. Salamanders haven't taken too much damage, and it looks like a Spider Hatchling Summon is going to be used, as the Salamanders do rip some heavy fire here into the Arachnoid Queen. Now in the backfield, we have the Scarvet and some Coldland Spear Riders, as well as Mazda Money, taking it to some Orc Warboys, getting rid of Soothsayer's mobility. But Sooth still does have a huge Wa line, or not Wa line, but Daka line, and now the Wa is officially popped. It's really good against Lizards. The entire army is immune to Psychology, so the little Goblins aren't going to buckle and run against the big Dinos. Legion of Chaqua is fighting hard. Salamander's a little bit mucked up now, so Satsuma definitely wants to get the Salamanders back, pull them back into this open field crevice, get them a better firing angle, but now we have a big old scrap. Scarvet pushing in. Plaque of Dominion does tank the leadership, and looks like the Scarvet is able to get some topical damage on the Arachnoid Queen. Nothing brutal. But yeah, he's got to be careful with this Scarvet. If he lets it get focused down by the Daka lines, that could certainly cost him the game. Currently, balance of power is pretty darn even. I would say nobody's in a super massive clear state of advantage, as the Scarvet's still healthy, Mazda Money's healthy, and the Savage Orc Biggins are now buckling off, and the Legion of Chaqua and the Saurus are still here to provide some support. But that Daka line's really getting quite crunk. I think Mazda Money probably needs to get in there and try and force himself into the back line, get a blob, get the terror routes, and then the Scarvet can kind of follow up in suit. Salamanders still have 14 of their 24 models, so they've lost 10. Still have some decent firing capacity. So definitely want to, keep those guys alive to the late game. Soothsayer in the back does have some Wolf Chariots and some Boar Boys who've come back, both of which are kind of capable of harassing here. Brainbuster going down as well on the Saurus. Brainbuster is probably one of the best abilities in the Big Wa lore magic. Yeah, the Greenskin front line is buckling. No surprise there. Mazda Mundi has so much HP too, and that's my big concern is the, bringing down all the HP on these guys. But what do we have left? I mean, the bounce power is kind of a, indicative of a one side being ahead, but I still feel like it's very even. A really nice Banishment and Ruination combo, so the Rusty Arrows probably going to get nuked into the Shadow Realm here. Yep, they are broken off, and now we just have regular Orc Archers. Now, the reason why you bring regular Orc Archers against armored factions is because they have 6 AP damage compared to Goblin Archers, which have like 1 or 2. So it's certainly a much better choice. Hey, Jack Cole, thank you for becoming a member on the channel. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully you're enjoying this ferocious battle we have here. So Lizards look like they might be in a little bit of trouble, actually, as the Greenskins really just mop up that entire center mass. Mazda is still a force to be reckoned with, but Soothsayer's perpetual focus on the Saurus Scar Veteran here has been really good, and now the Arachnoid Queen's going to come in and probably be able to finish it off. Zlok here dropping some bows as well. So he's able to drop it there on the Orc Airboys, but didn't do too much damage with that Ruination. And yeah, it looks like, honestly, it's going to be a Greenskin game. They just cleaned up everything else. Like, the monsters, they just ignored them until the end, and it seemed to work pretty well. Savage Orc Biggins were able to win their fights for Saurus, it seems. 80 kills on these ones, and the other ones, where are they at? I don't know. They're around here somewhere. Mazda Money will take some time to kill. Shield of the Old Ones and Apotheosis, but the Arachnoid Queen plus Savage Orcs plus Wurzag with his Dancing Hog. And here we go, buffing him up. I mean, this Spider has 110 melee attack right now. That is no joke. No joke indeed. So it looks like we're going to get the Greenskins winning their games here. This time we didn't see any Skarsnik. And honestly, this build you saw from Soothsayer didn't really benefit from any of the new Greenskin stuff, except for they need stabbing. It was just a classic Wurzog Daka line, which has been one of the most tried and true Greenskin builds against Lizards forever, right? You snare down the dinos, you shoot them with your orcs, you prosper. There was like, did it even have a pump wagon? There was no trolls, no rogue idol, like nothing new in this build except maybe the new Fanatic, I guess, which only got 17 kills. That is like an old school Greenskin build, so clearly Soothsayer is quite practiced there. Yep. The Lizards having a rough couple games there. but that's okay. The last game was a little bit closer, but Sooth is going to go up 2-1. This is best of 5. All right, so let me go ahead and remind these two fine gentlemen that it's best of 5. He says the salamanders kept getting obstructed. Yeah, it seemed like they were in an awkward position. Just letting him know it's best of 5. The Valley of Thieves is a nice looking map. Very easy to cast on. Map set. So it looks like Satsuma might be going to a Skaven. No, Ruination of Cities has always been random like that. Yeah. And Jack Cole, thanks again for becoming a member, man, on the channel. Really do appreciate that. Really do appreciate it, brother. We're going hard, guys. We're getting there. Hey, Mr. Pig. Safe travels at work, man. Thanks for joining. All right. Just checking the scoreboards. Everything on the back end looks good to me. That was pretty cool, yeah, the old school Greenskin Warzag play. That's kind of how I used to play against Lizards. I would still lose quite a bit, but it was functional at least. So Vicious Satsuma's picking Skaven. And we'll see what he goes from here. Soothsayer wanting to qualify, get it out of the way early here in the season. I'm sure all the other top players are hiding, waiting for Sooth to qualify. No, that's not true. There was actually tons of top tier players in today's tournament. Tons. It was really good. Mr. Erlinson, they're all good options, man. It's whatever your preference is, really. Yeah. They're all good options. So Richie says, Wookie needs 1,000 likes, he told me, and then I can give his pet Turin $200. Don't let little Wookie down, guys. You guys want to see some Wookie pictures while we're waiting? Here, let me go find you the most haggard Wookie pictures I possibly can from my Facebook. All right, one sec here, guys. All right, old school Wookie pictures. He's quite the gremlin. We're not shaming him. That's a pretty funny picture. Oh, God. Yeah, he looks like such a creature there. Oh, my God. Hold on, guys. I'm digging for some Wookiee pictures. Yeah. Oh, my God. This is when Wookiee still had teeth when he was very young. Unfortunately, when we rescued Wookiee, most of his teeth were kind of falling out because he was kind of neglected. Here you go. Okay. I have some now to share. So let's see. So Chaotic Blizzard, I did watch it. I don't know. So there's some merit to it, but I also disagree with some things. It's like, you know, every faction kind of when they get a DLC, eventually everyone will come in line. All right, so let's go ahead and add an image. Let me find it. God, I'm so bad at this. Like, how do I even technology? No, I got it. I got it. So here's a pretty classic one of Wookiee. This was him several years ago. I think this one is like 6 or 7 years old. Yeah, you can see he has teeth in that picture. Yeah, that's Wookiee in his heyday. He kind of looks like a little dragon. And you know, guys, I have a very strange thing about, like, in this picture, I feel like he looks like James Hetfield from Metallica. Like, nobody else agrees with me, but does anybody in chat agree that he looks like James Hetfield here? I think he does. So that's one. And then we have some more. Let's see, I think the players are still picking, so that's fine. So pick Skaven, bans Coast, and Dark Elves. Okay, so they're still doing their picks and bans, so we can just keep ticking around here. And here's, hang on. That's a pretty gremlin picture. Here's me with Wookiee a couple years ago. This one was like more recent. So you can see Wookiee is here, and he's he just looks like a bush right there. Oh man, all right, that's a funny one. What else do I got? So he's really old now. He's quite decrepit. He kind of looks like Falcor. Yeah. Hold on. He looks like a carpet. Here's a very majestic one of Wookiee. I've used this as a screen blocker in the past. This is him in his throne. That's his old bed. No, he doesn't snort, really. He doesn't. No, he's pretty quiet. He just licks his lips a lot. We don't know what breed he is. Yeah, we don't know what breed he is. He's got the Hatfield goatee. Thank you, Pedro. Someone finally agrees with me. So this is him in his throne. Maybe I'll use this as a screen blocker for future streams. All right. So there you guys. There you go, guys. Those are some Wookiee pictures. We'll save more for next stream. So Soothsayer is going to go Tomb Kings against Skaven. This is a matchup that I think is heavily favored for the Tomb Kings. I've always felt like it's really hard for Skaven to hold them back, but I don't know. Maybe Satsuma will prove us wrong. Hope he does. I'd like it to go to game 5. The Beast of Turin. It totally is, dude. It totally is. He looks like Gizmo from Gremlins. Yeah, he does. He does. He's a little gremlin beast. I'm trying to find more haggard pictures of him. Those are like flattering pictures. Yeah, let me dig for some other ones. We don't know what breed he is. They said he was an Affenpinscher, but I'm pretty sure he's like a pug mixed with like a terrier and like a couple other things. Like, there's no way of knowing really. Where's the Wookiee? Oh, that's. Oh, this is a really good one, the one I'm about to show you guys. This will be the last one though, guys. Then we got to get back to the stuff. But I guess while they're just picking, Wookiee. I'm gonna call it the Wookiee finale. This is one of my favorite ones. Like I took this when I was at one of my parents' computer, and he was just like sitting on my lap looking at me all suspicious. Which one, darling? Okay, so Soothsayer's ready. Satsuma's still picking his army. Don't worry, I'm checking. This one is really funny. I have a Maltese dog. It's like the opposite of your dog. Yeah, cute little guys. There, that's Wookiee's suspicious look. Yeah. So it's so funny the juxtaposition of this all, right? You have like Soothsayer and Satsuma sitting here like scheming, like thinking with every brain cell about how to defeat their opponents in brutal combat, and then here we're just like sharing pictures of Wookiee. Oh my god, Richie. So Richie coming in with a fat 200 donation, dude. Thank you so much. He's a shot my load, man. Once I saw the Wookiee, he couldn't hold back the cash. Thank you, man. Hot damn. That's super generous. That is super generous, man. That one is creepy. I know. It's like he's caught you doing something you shouldn't be doing. That's what that picture looks like. Richie, thank you, man. That's so generous. And just because Richie gave such a fat, generous donation, I'm going to bump the prize pool of the players up today. I'm going to double it. Even though we don't normally do prizes for qualifiers, we're going to double it because of that. Thank you so much, man. That's super generous. Staring right into your soul, I know. I know. Oh god, darling, which picture are you linking? So Lady Turin just linked a picture of me in the college days. That was me, I think, when I was like at the very end of college, and I had like long hair as well. Yeah, Misha, that picture's not even that old though. That was, well, actually it is. It's 7 years old now. Yeah. Richie, man, thank you, dude. I was 24 in that picture, I think. Yeah, in the one that Anna linked. I'm 31 now, so it was about 7 years ago. I was definitely in better shape. Is there a tournament calendar available? So SysDem, honestly, the best way to look at tournament calendars is just to hang out in the Discord that I run, a couple other people run, and we have a section called Upcoming Tournaments, where you can basically just keep track of them and mark them on your calendars and or play in them too. Satsuma quickly switches off his meme build knowing money's on the line. You know, the Sandor Clegane, we haven't seen too many meme builds today, to be frank. Yeah. Yeah, Rich, man, thank you so much, dude. Again, one last time, thank you. That's super generous. Oh, God. Is Anna just linking embarrassing pictures of me in chat? That was back when I used to play soccer. Oh God, that's so embarrassing. Oh man, dude, Richie, I'm half Irish, man. I'm completely. I understand, dude. I'm an Irish lad myself, mostly Irish and Italian. Irish is my most predominant, I guess, culture or whatever. But yeah, I stopped playing soccer after college. Yeah, I played in college. I was on a club team. I don't think we're going to see war wagons, guys. Drop. I actually had really bad tendonitis back then too, but it didn't matter in soccer. All right, guys, and here we are. Potentially the final game. Satsuma is on the ropes, down 1-2, but he has gotten a victory off Soothsayer, and now he's on his beloved Skaven, which we saw earlier. He's certainly a very proficient Skaven player. So for Satsuma, he's got Plague Claw, Catapult, Warp Lightning Cannon, the Ikit's Zap Zap Cannon, looking to zap some of them big Tomb Kings. He's got Lord Skrulk, he's got an Assassin as well, front line of Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats, and again, coming in with the double Hell Pit Abomination, really quite the signature for his very, very foul Skaven play. And now if we look back at the Tomb Kings, coming in with the triple Ushapti Great Bow, Boner Giant, we do also have Setra the Imperishable Chariot, a little bit of Horseman pressure. Now, the thing about this build, triple Great Bow plus Bone Giant is going to be able to wreck that Warp Lightning Cannon, so it's going to force the Skaven into a bit of an uncomfortable position where you have to advance. Satsuma's got to make sure he doesn't make the mistake of waiting too long. I think as soon as he sees this build, he's got to push with his rats and his hell pits and try and bunker bust the Tomb Kings. Otherwise, if he just waits, he's going to be volleyed down, and it's going to be horrible. He does also have Council Guard. The Lord for the Tomb Kings is going to be Setra with the no spells, Incantation of Desiccation, it looks like, and the Blade item he has as well. Yeah. And here we go, guys. Here we go. The battle is underway. I don't think that picture is even that old, Anna. That picture's only like a couple years old. 3 years, I suppose. We still look like that. Come on. Come on now. So the battle is underway. The Hell Pit Abomination's awaiting. And really, I mean, that's the thing. If the Skaven press and Skrulk uses his summons to kind of muck up the backfield, Hell Pit Abomination's able to take out Setra. It could be a good game for the Skaven. They have a ton of support, too. A bunch of Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves. But yeah, he's not going to win the range duel. Plague Claw Catapult will have some okay applications. But yeah, the Bone Giant plus Ushaptis, he's got to advance. Like, he can't trade this missile game. It's going to be really, really rough for him. Yeah. It's going to be rough indeed. So it looks like both players are just about ready. Maybe saying good luck, have fun. Thanks, likewise. Ready when you are. In the battle for the sake of the first qualifier. Bone Giant. Definitely love me some Bone Giant. Actually, as a matter of fact, when I used to play against Skaven in tournaments, this was a while back. I had a game against Hadri's, a series against him, and it's the first time I tried the double Bone Giant against Skaven. It's actually really freaking strong. Like, they hammer down Hell Pits and also the artillery pieces, but you got to be careful. Pretty vulnerable if they're compromised. So Warp Lightning Cannon's definitely going after Great Bows, which is smart. I think that's what you're going to want to shoot. Ooh, look at the damage right there. Nailed 2 of those Ushapti. Weak binding, but still going to be stable. And it's only a matter of time before the Bone Giant does get in range. It'd be really funny to actually use the Hell Pit to actually screen the artillery like the Catapult. Yeah, and the Ushaptis are getting crumped here a little bit. They've lost one model. Plague Claw Catapult's here shooting after the other Ushapti, but now the Bone Giant's going to be going in after the Ikit Zap Cannon. Man, and the Bone Giant with its first freaking shaft takes out one of the Ikit Zap Zap Cannons. Skaven are going to have to advance here 100%. At the very least, though, at least the Warp Lightning Cannon is getting some good damage on the Ushapti before it goes, but oh, and that one misses, man. That Warp Lightning Cannon really just in the danger zone here. Plus, there's all these Great Bows shooting now, and they can go after the Council Guard. The Skaven have to advance. They have to press. Otherwise, this is going to be a bit of a losing fight. So here we go. Rats are pushing forward. Hell Pit Abomination's about ready. The Warp Lightning Cannon literally has one Zap Zap Cannon left, and it rips one last shot before it goes quietly. At least it did take down a couple of Ushapti, so it has somewhat paid for itself. And the Skaven do have a pretty good frontal pressure core, and also if the Plague Claw Catapult can be kept alive, that can actually do some decent AP damage against the Ushaptis. Granted, it should probably be used on lobbed up Skeleton Spears. Here we have Setra and the Chariots coming after some Skaven Slaves, probably going to pull back before the Hell Pit can react. Granted, the Hell Pit might be able to get some of those Chariots. It depends if the Skaven is watching here, and it looks like the Hell Pit does maybe Pimp Slap one Chariot. Oh, he gets a little bit of contact there. Maybe so. Bone Giant's now going after Rat Ogres, maybe trying to snipe Skrulk. And the Plague Claw Catapult still shooting in. yeah, not bad. Really wrecking down those skeleton spearmen. So far, so good for the Skaven. Granted, the interference that's being run by Soothsayer is masterful. Basically, he's using the Chariot and the Nehekar Horsemen to occupy the Skaven force to keep it from pressing forward, which is a really easy mistake to make. Skaven here probably want to push in by chasing the Horsemen and these other troops. The Great Bows and, the Bone Giant is really just getting its maximum value. So some carrion have landed in the back. It looks like Skaven slaves are going to be peeling that thing off most likely. Helped Abomination pushing in, but also pushing into spears, which isn't the most friendly situation for those guys. Maybe getting the Hellpits to just beeline for the back and go after the Ushabti here could be good. And it looks like that's what Satsuma is doing. Yeah, he's getting the Hellpit Abominations, just bum rushing the back. Ushabti have 54 speed, Hellpits have 58. They're a little bit faster, can't catch them in a vacuum. But, oh, this is a little bit risky for Skrulk Daddy, actually. Setra's nearby with his blade. He could actually turn and probably crump Skrulk pretty badly. Council Guard and Assassin are nearby as well, though. So maybe that's why Soothsayer is being a little bit more apprehensive about taking that engagement. So who knows? So now over here, we have the Hellpit Abomination on top of the Bone Giant. The other Hellpit is going to be pushing backward. There's pretty much just skeletons back here to try and defend. And the skeletons, will progressively poke down Hellpits. But honestly, with their healing, they could probably outdo most of that. But triple Ushabti Great Bow against Hellpit Abomination is going to be putting some big hurt on it. But if the Hellpits can drag down the Bone Giant, maybe detach one to go after these guys, that could be quite good. And you can see Setra's coming here in the back. Setra's going to be running over here and trying to peel off the Hellpits, I would imagine. And I think that's a Liber Bubonicus. Yes, it is going to be a Liber on Setra. Council Guard storming in as well. Lightclaw Catapult still shooting quite happily right into that blob of skeletons, and that's quite good. Now, Soothsayer still does have some chariots. He's got some horsemen in the back who are chasing off ogres. The thing about Hellpits is if they overextend and get broken, for example, they could easily be chased off by some of the Tomb King mobility. But honestly, this is a pretty close game. If this Hellpit can stabilize and not, get nuked down to the point where it breaks here, yeah, Ushabti are kiting back. But yeah, this is really, really good by Satsuma. I would get both Hellpits and just chase here at this point. Yeah, I think you got to. Skrulk and his halberds are fighting, but a horde of skeleton spears awaits them. The Assassin's coming in as well. Plagueclaw Catapult still hammering into some of these units. And we have a very, very even game on our hands. Granted, slightly Tomb King favorite, I would say, considering the Hellpit Abomination is so damn low, and it's such an integral aspect here. And this is a good play. Basically what Sooth is doing is he's splitting up his Great Bows, so at least one of them can shoot. Running all three of them together would be a pretty catastrophic mistake. Bone Giant has pretty good ammo. 11 shots should still be enough to perhaps pound down that Hellpit Abomination. Skaven in the front are wearing their way through, though. You can see the Skeleton Warriors and the Spearmen are crumbling, so they're getting a little bit low. Warp Lightning Cannon crew is back, but there's no Warp Lightning Cannons to work with. Plagueclaw Catapult is still actually alive, despite the pressure from Nehekar Horsemen, but for how long? Wavering, 7 leadership. This is actually really important. That Plagueclaw Catapult is going to be huge in the late game for trying to bring down some of these threats here. So one Hellpit Abomination is certainly on death's bed here. The Skaven Slaves getting by is actually quite good. 1100 HP, 1000 HPs at 9 leadership. He might potentially break, especially if Setra is coming over here. And I think Setra is going to be able to make this guy serve. Maybe keeping the Hellpits beating on the Bone Giant could have been better. Oh, and the Bone Giant with a giant shaft in the face of the dreaded Hellpit Abomination. Very, very good stuff indeed. Up in the hill, we have the Skaven making their hold. It looks like the Plagueclaw Catapult has stabilized. Nehekar Horsemen here are crumbling and being forced back by Skaven Slave Spears. And down on the low ground, Skrulk and the Assassins were able to finish off a lot of the Tomb King's support. Maybe they just go after the Bone Giant now. Bone Giant's not super quick. We have this Hellpit Abomination just doing its best to keep up with the Ushabti, who are kiting very effectively. Plagueclaw Catapult dropping some serious damage here on Skeleton Warriors. Obviously not much to write home about. But the Bone Giant, plus at least one Ushabti here, probably going to be putting some serious hurt on this Hellpit. And yeah, it's not like going to be able to dodge those shafts terribly well. The Chariot is still alive. There's still some Carrion and Nehekar Horsemen in the distance as well. Because the Chariot's going to be able to cycle charge all these infantry, like pretty nasty. Plagueclaw Catapult really doing some work though. It's got some Skaven Slaves pursuing. Bone Giant just dropping its shaft in the face of the Hellpit, which is still healing. 39 leadership, but it's not going to be able to out-heal that DPS unless there's some interference. Ooh, Chariot's coming in, running over the Assassin, it looks like. Skrulk Daddy trying his best. Council Guard still going strong. And oh man, you got it. The Plagueclaw Catapult here is going to do friendly fire. It's going to do a bunch of damage to those Council Guard if he keeps shooting here. He's going to want to switch it onto some Spearmen over here or something. Hellpit Abomination peeling backwards now. Maybe going to jump on the Bone Giant. That might be the play, actually, because at least on the Bone Giant, you'll get some damage before it dies. But yeah, it's taking a hammering. You can see Satsuma's trying his best to juke here, like back and forth, but Soothsayer also still has a new Ushabti summon in the back pocket. This is a really, really good pull apart here. Really, really solid pull apart. So the Hellpit Abomination is shaken and certainly stirred. Another shaft does miss it right there. Council Guard are now going after the Bone Giant. Skrulk and the Assassin are still in okay shape, but with Setra being here to manhandle those rats, it's going to be really, really tough. Great play by Satsuma, though, making a huge effort to actually keep the Plagueclaw Catapult in business, but it's about to run out of ammo. which is, of course, is going to put some weight on the bounce of power. The other Hell Pit Abomination is brought down. Yeah, and I've always had trouble with Skaven, like dealing with this kind of play. Unless you just go super balls deep in artillery, but then you have to worry about the Tomb King rush as well, which is really nasty against Skaven. Yeah, Turin is talking, nobody in chat's paying attention. That's fine. As long as you guys are having a good time, it's all fair play. So here we do have the Assassin's Trophy going down in Cetra. The Assassin is going to be making his way in. I mean, there's a glimmer of hope for the Skaven. If the Council Guard can kind of endure a little bit. You know, the Assassin Scroll, Council Guard would be pretty tough, tall order for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I mean, Skaven mostly just have, like, Skaven slaves left. I don't know if there's going to be enough here. I don't think so. And it looks like the Tomb Kings, yeah, bullying down those Skaven slaves. The Chariots are just going to run amok in this desert here. 178 freaking kills. I know it's mostly against chaff, but that's still a pretty good accomplishment here. So the Skeleton Chariot's going to be peeling back, going after the Skaven slaves. And here we have the Skeleton Spearmen, critical binding. Rod of Corruption going down, not going to get too much value though. It's basically just hitting that one unit. And the Ushabti Great Bows are almost out of ammo. A couple of volleys left on this one, 5 volleys. This one has 2. And the other one up on the high ground, ooh, that's a lot of ammo, unfortunately. That's 6 whopping shots right there. I'm surprised the balance of power is so close. I figured it would be more in the favor of the Tomb Kings. But I guess Council Guard are pretty meaty rats. Those guys aren't going to go quietly. Skrulk is still here. I would imagine he's saving up some Winds of Magic. We do have some Skaven reinforcements from the back as well. But I mean, you know, the Ushabti, functionally speaking, aren't bad at melee. Probably would be enough to maybe punch these guys down, but not if the Council Guard are still here. I suppose killing all the Council Guard using all your ammo is going to be the play. And what Sooth is going to do is he's going to grab his Goon Squad here and go clean up like all this Skaven support. But look at the bounce, guys. It's actually like kind of creeping back towards the Skaven, which is hilarious. Council Guard need to stay close to the heroes here. Big mistake chasing here. They're going to get isolated and run over, but with the characters, yeah. And he notices this and he pulls back. That's very smart indeed. What, I'm being told to shave now? I don't have that grimy of a beard. Come on, guys. Can't even see what I look like right now. So the Bone Giant being hunted by Skrulk Daddy with his big old flail, and the Assassin as well. Ushabti summon going to be used, which is a good usage. Saving the Bone Giant is nice for the late game because it could potentially tear route off these rats. Ushabti are about out of ammo. Council Guard are making their way back. Up on the high ground, Soothsayer are basically able to just dismantle all these rats. You can see absolute destruction as these poor Skaven slaves and clan rats and artillery crews are run down by the spokes of Sirtha Bone. Yeah, that chariot probably up to 200 plus kills right now. 294 kills on that skeleton chariot. Hot damn. That is really, really good. And now, my friends, we're back over to the Skaven Assassins. Here they are. The Assassin and Skrulk using some summons. This is the last stand of the Skaven Empire. Bone Giant going to be shooting in here. Ushabti are about out of ammo. Just let the Ushabti summon fight. Yeah, there's no need. Just like finish off any Skaven reinforcements. Bone Giant Shaft going to go after Skrulk. And, oh, a direct hit. Balance of power getting danger close to army losses. There's no way. I mean, Cetra alone could probably deal with these 2 rats with good cycle charging. And there is so much Tomb Kings left. There's Playclaw Catapult crew in the back, but what are they going to do? That chariot is just going deep. Just going deep. Here we have it, guys. The Assassin pushing after the Bone Giant, making his valiant last stand for Clan Eshin, backed up by some of the brave Council Guard. Oh, that actually looked like a synced animation. He like dove through the leg and like dodged the attack. That was actually really cool. Be going into the back of the Bone Giant. Still has 80 armor, so the Assassin won't hit it too hard, considering the AP values on Assassins are quite low. Skrulk using, I believe, another Rod of Corruption charges, but Satsuma is going to withdraw. And our first qualifier today is going to be Talaxilon Soothsayer, multi-time ever-chosen champion, one of the legends of the scene. It was a great series indeed, and Satsuma played extremely well. Satsuma had a great run in today's tournament, was able to defeat some top-tier players, and took a game off Sooth and almost won some of the other games. So big props to both players. That was an awesome run indeed. But the Bone Giant will not be stopped. He will not be sated. The Bone Giant must feast on the souls. And Soothsayer is going to be advancing on to the ECL Season 5 Grand Final. So let's go ahead and go to the player list. It's actually a fun little thing. So we have the recipe here. So we're going to add some text. And we're going to call it Sooth. We're going to add him to Grom's recipe. Talax, Talan, Soothsayer. I hope I got that right. If I didn't, I will correct it in between streams. Here we go. So Talaxilon Soothsayer is going to be the first ingredient in Grom's recipe for the finals. You can see him here. We are going to have 8 players. And yeah, that was quite a run, man. GG indeed. Why don't the Assassins have Weeping Blades? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Really, GG? Vicious Satsuma was gambling on you for getting the Bone Giant. And Soothsayer says, it's a desert map. You can't fight Cetra in the desert. Even when there's Juzales, you kill them with Bow Shopti. Pretty cool build by Sooth. Certainly going to be taking some notes. Soothsayer is the first recipe. We see Falcon. And if anyone's been the champion of the Eternal Challenger League, it's been Falcon for sure. If we look at the ECL Hall of Fame, Falcon won season 1, 2. No, Falcon won season 1, 3, and 4. Zyphos won season 2. So I'm sure Falcon will be back in future qualifiers to protect his strap, his belt. Maybe we'll have to send him a belt out to Russia. Be pretty cool. You like the font? Come on, it could be worse. I'll come up with a better font. The hand's doing okay, Falcon. Yeah, it's feeling a little bit better, bud. Thank you for asking. Since we talked, it's been recovering, but a little bit tired at the moment. So guys, I just want to take a moment to sincerely thank you all for joining. It was an absolute blast. Special thanks to the mods for helping out as always. You guys are aces, and thank you for linking embarrassing pictures of me and all that sort of good stuff. And yeah, couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you for all your help running the tournaments, reviewing replays. Much appreciated as well. And also, want to give a special round of applause for all the very generous donations today. You guys just went ham. So if we look here, we have Richie. Richie today with a 200 and a 50, just going crazy. So Richie, thank you so much. We have a new sponsor with Jack Cole. We got JR, we got Bug-Eyed Creep, Wesley Chartrand, Aaron Larmore with a big old 50 as well. Aaron, thank you so much. Frederick Anderson, Martin Hawkinson, it's a new sponsor it looks like. Ruben Bunskoke, Chris Vickers, Mr. Erlinson, thank you so much. Damocles, Blake Colborn, Richie again, Godfried Crump. Then we also, I believe, have donations from King Adjazal, Paul, D3 Willow was a sponsor yesterday. So yeah, I think I got them all. Thank you guys so much. Super generous. So these are going to be once a week, either Friday, Saturdays, or Sunday, depending on how I'm feeling and my work schedule and things like that. So that's going to be the nature of the beast. Today, Tlaxlan Soothsayer, the Slan Master himself, is qualified. So big round of applause for him. And also, let's give a round of applause to Vicious Satsuma for getting to the finals. Doing a great job. We certainly had a really good run today. Just great players across the board. 70 plus competitors. It was no joke for sure. So winning this tournament definitely took a lot of skill and patience and durability, honestly, because it's a lot of freaking games to play in one day. Yes. And that is it. We are done. Tournament is over. I'm going to get back to hanging out with my smoking hot wife and just enjoying life. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate all your support. Stream is over for now. Make sure to tune in next week for the next edition of the Eternal Challenger League Season 5. And until then, you guys stay safe. Spend some time with your loved ones. Do your thing. Eat some kielbasa if you have it. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys. See you soon. Thanks again for watching, and take care.